And this is our main event here tonight, as this is a 2 out of 3 falls matchup involving Paul London and Bryan Danielson.
And this is a rematch of that classic they had on December 7th at Night of the Butcher. This time, no 2 out of 3 falls. Last time, it was Paul London gaining the victory over Danielson. And, of course, before that, they met at All-Star Extravaganza as part of that Heartbreak Gauntlet series. And it was American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, getting the victory over London there. So we got the rubber match here. Not only is it the rubber match, but it's 2 out of 3 falls. And listen to that crowd already. And that's how you do a collar and elbow tie-up right there. Both men struggling with all their force against each other. Neither getting an advantage. Wow.
What intensity.
And look at Danielson holding that ear getting a little roughed up in that collar and elbow tie-up. And that's when you know you've done a hold effectively. You've made the most out of it. And there you see London and Danielson. And the atmosphere in this building is just incredible.
There's a lot on the line here. This is definitely the one the fans came to see, one of them, and this is a rematch I've been waiting for a long time.
As we see a knuckle lock right there.
And not to take away from this match, but let's talk about what we saw a little bit before this out in the street between David Young and Iceberg. Things are really heating up inside and outside the building, as after this match tonight, we're going to have that non-sanctioned bunkhouse riot.
Are we even doing commentating on that? It's not an ROH match.
I know. I don't know.
Wow, nice leg. Look at Paul London using the legs right there in that knuckle lock, but now Danielson releasing the knuckle lock and just stepping on the face of London. Throws London down, London rolls off, and we got another square off between the two.
And these two, there's a big feeling out process here, as anybody could take this match at any time. These two dangerous competitors that know each other. And
David Young and Iceberg. Let's go back to that on the street. Homicide and CW brawling somewhere in the building. J-Train and Louis Ramos keeping an eye out for whatever old school brawlers the group had booked into this match. We don't even know who's in the match tonight, as the booking was in the hands of the guys in the match. And of course, Dusty Rhodes is around somewhere. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. I hope that none of the action spills into the building while this match is going on.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And there's so much going on. And you never know what you're going to get at an ROH show. But I know one thing you're going to get is great action.
And what the people are waiting for right now is this match. 2 of the most respected men in ROH. 2 of the favorites among the crowd. Bryan Danielson, Paul London. There you see Danielson with that leg lock right on London. Excuse me, the head scissors. And look at London trying to bridge out, unable to. And Danielson, look how he uses those arms to push himself up, to add extra leverage to that hold. Beautifully done. And those are those little things we talk about so much. And there's London, bridges his way up and over and almost out, but still in it. And there he is, he's out.
Nice escape, but now a bridge up by Dragon.
Perfect bridge by Dragon.
Both guys fighting for it. Oh, and a big chop. Looks like we got some games being played here, as each guy's trying to psych the other one out.
Very nicely done by both guys. We're not only seeing a wrestling match here, but we're seeing kind of a chess match here too. Lots of mind games being played. Very cerebral. And now we're getting another one of those lockups. Danielson immediately grabbing the arm.
You're exactly right. Everything's on the line in a match like this, a match that has so much on the line. And everybody's got to be careful not to make any mistakes here.
And, of course, this is another match that's going to have real big ramifications on the top 5 ranking system. As the winner of this one, sure to get a spot. The loser, probably not. So, and, of course, the winner, you're on your way to getting that #1 Contenders Trophy and getting that ROH title shot. So, huge opportunity for both men now. But I think more than anything else, there's pride on the line as London grabbing that arm. Because what a match these two had. Listen to that crowd.
And wow, what a beautiful move by Dragon.
And you saw London using those ropes before to just break the hold, and Dragon taking it one step farther.
You're exactly right. This match is going to mean a lot to the top 5 ranking systems, as right now Bryan Danielson is ranked number 5 because Paul London missed a couple shows of the last shows. He's not in the top 5, but a victory here tonight will definitely elevate him in that upper echelon.
Of course. Well, Dragon also missed the last couple of shows, but he did score that big win over Samoa Joe at the first anniversary show, so that kept him strong in the rankings. And there you see a takedown there by Danielson. But more so, there's a lot of pride because these two, they became rivals after that match on 12/7 at Night of the Butcher. An absolute classic and probably one of the most underrated ROH shows out there. Definitely one to check out. And now these two, they're looking to take their game to another level in this one. As now you see
Dragon working on the headlock here. But you're right, talking about that Samoa Joe match. Can you imagine Samoa Joe defending a title against either one of these two individuals?
I'd love to see it. And Danielson, of course, he just got back from that tour of New Japan, so he's going to be better and stronger than ever as he worked all the top guys there. And you see him wrenching that neck of Paul London. But Paul London, he missed a couple of shows. He had that emergency sinus cavity surgery, which is, he passed out one day because oxygen couldn't get to his brain because of a sinus infection. Needed emergency surgery. Missed the March 15th show, missed the March 22nd show, but now he's back. And let's talk about last week. He scored one of the biggest victories of his career, winning the prestigious ECWA Super 8 tournament.
That's right. That was great matches there by Paul London.
Chance Beckett, really impressive there.
You're right, exactly.
And if you can get that tape from rvideo.com or calling 215-891-9404, the exclusive carriers of the Super 8. 3 Paul London matches on there, definitely worth checking out. But back to the ring here, we have London and Dragon once again squaring off.
You're right. And these two, the pace is really slowed down here. And the fans now really getting into this action. And London and Dragon now tying up. London with the advantages. He has a side headlock on Dragon.
A nice simple side headlock there. Takes him down, but just look at the way he grinds in on it. That's what makes this hold effective. You can't just grab a headlock and sit there. You have to grind in on it. That's the differences between the good ones and the great ones. And you see Danielson trying to fight back, using that forearm, trying to rub it against the face and cover. Nope.
He almost caught him in a pinfall there. Dragon's got to get up, which he's doing right now.
Not quite enough as Danielson takes him up, whips him into the ropes. Shoulder block, but down goes Danielson.
And London once again going back to that headlock.
Right back to the headlock. And what you're seeing here is that kind of athletic quality wrestling with clear winners or losers that ROH prides itself on presenting. And that's all based around the code of honors. There you see London climbing the ropes and holding on to that headlock still. But real quick, I want to go over the code of honor. You've heard about it all night. Those are the commandments that ROH is based on, and they are, real quick, wrestlers must shake hands before and after their match. No outside interference or having others interfere on your behalf. You can't involve the referee in your match physically. You can't knock him down. You can't cause harm to him by maybe throwing your opponent to him. Once again, Danielson trying to get out of it, and London climbing the ropes and holding on to it. If you're disqualified, you've broken the code of honor. We want clear winners or losers, submissions or pins here, and no sneak attacks. So that's the code of honor. That's what gives you these great matches based on respect, based on integrity, based on athleticism, and it's all based around the code of honor and those 5 laws of honor. As now you see Danielson out, he's got London's head locked in that vice-like leg lock right there.
And now Dragon,
look at him driving those elbows back.
That's right, into the shoulder blades there of Paul London. And London escapes.
Ooh.
With the chop.
Ow. Oh!
What a vicious kick by Dragon right to the face of London.
And I think we're getting past those cerebral mind games going on, and we're getting into more brutality, more like, hey, okay, enough of the games. If you want me to hit you hard, I'm going to hit you hard. And that's what we just saw out of Danielson, and it'll be interesting to see how London responds here.
Yeah, that's right. I think the feeling out process is just about done with, as these guys are about to step it up. They're about to shift into another gear.
And another headlock there by London, cranking it in. Danielson trying desperately to get out of it. And real quick, I just want to go over the upcoming schedule here. Of course, April 26th, West Mifflin, PA, outside of Pittsburgh, at the CCAC South Campus. Danielson now trying to whip him in and gets a headlock of his own. Now London fighting out of it with those forearms to the gut. Shoulder block, and down goes London this time. And a kip up by London saying, hey, you're going to have to hit me a little harder than that if you want me to stay down. Up and over goes London. Nice over the head, belly to belly cover.
But no, not enough.
And London right back to that headlock. May 31st, ROH is right back here at the Murphy Rec Center. We'll have the lights and everything again, and including a showcase card starting at 6:30. You hear the fans getting into it. June 14th, back in Boston, in Cambridge, Massachusetts, at the Massachusetts National Guard Armory. June 28th, right back here at the Murphy Rec Center in South Philly. And July 19th, a New Jersey debut, Elizabeth, New Jersey. And look at London just grinding that the forearm into the face of Dragon. And July 19th is going to be the big one, Elizabeth, New Jersey, the Rexplex. Info for all these shows, ROHWrestling.com, rvideo.com, or call 215-891-9404. Danielson finally out with a backbreaker, and look at Danielson going back to that ear, as that ear probably might be cauliflowering up a little bit after that headlock that London had for so long.
But Danielson just dropped London as he drove that knee into the back of London, and London's definitely favoring his lower back there as he's now sitting up against the corner. And Dragon, now London firing back, but a big chop by Dragon.
But London's right back with a slap by Danielson. Forearm by London. Headbutt.
And a vicious headbutt.
I think London was a little rattled by that headbutt as he tried to roll towards the ropes. Danielson having nothing with it, but London fighting him off, trying to stay in those ropes. Definitely feeling the effects of that headbutt, but Danielson not relenting, showing an aggressive side right there with those boots while London was in the corner. Danielson now whipping him in. Oh, double axe handle. Simple but effective, and London is down.
Definitely American Dragon Bryan Danielson now having a clear-cut advantage as he goes for a pinfall, but no, not enough, as he is definitely gaining an advantage here on Paul London. As what's he going for here?
Looks like a stretch right there.
Some kind of stretch submission maneuver here. This has definitely got to be painful to the arms and shoulders of Paul London.
And not only that, but think of the chest and abdomen that's getting stretched as well.
You're exactly right.
London saying no. Oh!
And that just opens up London for more strikes.
And Danielson said open fist. He's saying those are open hands, perfectly legal. Wow, Danielson unleashing. And there you see London having some words for Danielson. Danielson just responding with those open hands right to the head of London.
Danielson firing up on London, but London trying to fight back here. And another headbutt by Dragon. And a vicious European uppercut that just rocked Paul London.
And London holding that jaw, that's the kind of thing that can dislocate a jaw.
And remember, this guy just had sinus surgery just a few weeks ago, so his face might be susceptible to some injuries as he goes for a small package, but no.
And as you saw before in Homicide Chris Daniels, that small package can end it. Ooh, back and forth chops.
Wow, he might have got him right there. He might have caught Dragon right in the face. Dragon went down, and a beautiful kick by London. Both these guys in pain.
Oh, a kick by Danielson. And there's only so many of these strikes, so many of these kicks, so many of these chops you can take before they really wear you down. And we're seeing the beginnings of a brutal match here. Perfectly executed back suplex by Danielson.
That's right, and Paul London once again favoring that lower back as he was earlier. Dragon goes for a pin, but not enough. He's got to hit more than that to pin Paul London.
This match with a 1 hour time limit, and I think these guys could come close to that hour the way this one's shaping up early.
You're exactly right. They're setting a pace. It could be a long and brutal match for both of these guys here.
So many little things being done perfectly. As hold on, we got Danielson. He's trying for that abdominal stretch, but look at London clasping those hands, trying to fight out of it so that Danielson can't get it hooked. Danielson now trying to separate those hands, and he does, and he's got that abdominal stretch wrenched in there, twisting the body of Paul London.
And Paul London's been being worn down the last couple minutes. Dragon could gain a submission here. Remember, it's 2 out of 3 falls, so if something's so painful you might have to submit. The match still isn't over.
Yep, and London going for those elbows to the knee, getting out of the hole, but Danielson right back with a headbutt. Those headbutts very effective in this match.
Absolutely, you're right.
Listen to those fans. What an atmosphere in this building. You have to be here live for this. Are we in Europe at a soccer game?
What an incredible chance there by the crowd as the crowd is voicing their opinions on who they want to win this match.
I think it's 50. It's right down the middle, 50-50. And now they're chanting for ROH because they know this is the only kind of place they're going to get this atmosphere. This kind of action is at a live Ring of Honor event as Danielson takes in London with a vertical suplex.
And Dragon's got to follow up. Is he going to go for a pinfall attempt here? Dragon not enough as we're already at the 15-minute mark and we still haven't had any falls yet.
Both men really wearing each other down in those first 15 minutes with a various combination of holds, submissions, and chops and kicks.
Wow, and Paul London just met Dragon in the face with a big boot. And another. And Dragon's reeling. London now just going for a simple 2 punches right there. He whips Dragon into the ropes. A big lariat.
Real big high-impact move. These guys are beginning to show the bigger moves now.
But he's favoring his arm, the arm that Dragon's been working on.
Cover. Danielson trying to turn him over in a Boston Crab. No.
Slingshot.
London, I think he let himself go over the top rope so he could set up. Yes, he set Danielson up for this. Takes him over in a head scissors into the floor.
What a beautiful maneuver there by Paul London.
And London's so dangerous when he's in the ring and his opponent's on the floor. You never know what he's going to do. That's why the fans chant, please don't die at him.
And Dragon now we can see on the floor. He's reeling a little bit. London in the ring.
Oh!
And a big kick delivered by Paul London right to the back of the head of Bryan Danielson. As he's just being held up by that middle rope, he might be knocked out.
Every move in this match so effective, no wasted movement at all. And now let's see what London can follow up with. He's got Danielson hooked, maybe a back suplex. No, Danielson gets out of it. Danielson grabs London, maybe that dragon suplex. London fighting out of it. London does. Now going into the ropes. Ow! London spills out in a rude way.
Wow, London just got thrown through the ropes to the floor, and that leaves Bryan Danielson in the ring now.
We're over 15 minutes in this match. These two doing everything to wear each other out, and Danielson hits the ropes.
Wow, running topes. He just leveled Paul London on the floor.
Perfectly executed. Both men are down, as that's a risky move for Danielson to pull out, but you got to risk something to get something, and that's, I guess, what Danielson's philosophy with that move.
You're absolutely right. The bigger the risk, the bigger the gain.
Not only that, but Danielson did the move in, I guess, his section of fans.
I guess so. You might be right.
Did they sell this building for the Danielson section and the London section?
I don't know. I don't work in the front office, but if they did, that would be great, because it sure seems like that.
Unbelievable atmosphere. This is what ROH is all about. Be here live, a full summer schedule. Oh!
We're looking out at the crowd. I bet you some of the fans are chanting for both guys. That's how much both of these guys are
I would
over.
be chanting for both guys.
And Dragon escalating to the top rope. What's he going for? That diving headbutt. Yes, he hits it.
London was 3/4 of the way across the ring. And there's a cover.
What distance and velocity by Bryan Danielson on that diving headbutt.
Ray, it's still only a 2 count.
That's right. And we still haven't had a pinfall yet here. And this is a 2 out of 3 fall match. And now Dragon looking at the Paul London section over there.
Going for a Royal elbow. Backslide cover.
No, not enough. Small package. Dragon not enough as he almost pinned Paul London.
And the fans keeping that energy almost 20 minutes into this match. And there's a kick to, I believe, the arm. Oh, nice spin heel kick from the second rope there. Let's see if London can follow it up. Definitely higher impact moves we're seeing now. Oh, nice cover. This could be the first fall.
No, not enough. That was a move similar to the move that Chris Daniels lost to Homicide earlier tonight. Paul London coming up with a lot of offense here, but he needs to hit one of those higher impact maneuvers.
And he's signaling for it right now. He's signaling perhaps for that shooting star. It's so good that you can only call it the London Star press. No one doesn't like him, but no, Danielson cuts him off. And London's in a bad spot right now.
And he's got him hooked in a full Nelson.
He might be going for that Dragon Suplex.
You might be right.
That Dragon Suplex finished off many guys before. No, London fights out of it. German Suplex.
No, not enough. Paul London barely kicking out there.
And it's that heart, it's that courage, it's that fighting spirit that Paul London has used to win over those ROH fans, that he showed in that unscripted ladder match, as the 20-minute mark is called, that he showed in those matches against Xavier, that he showed in that awesome three-way at the first anniversary show, and that's why the fans love him so much, and he's showing it again. Danielson now perhaps going for the biggest high-impact move so far, maybe that back suplex from the top, but London is fighting him every step of the way. London with those punches to the head, but Danielson still has him hooked. Danielson's still going to try, and I think he's got him set. I think he's got him hooked. He does. London reverses it cross body.
And London takes fall number one here.
Beautifully done by Paul London, shifting his weight in midair, turning that into a cross body, catching Danielson off guard, and only takes 3 seconds, and London has captured the first fall in this one, and these two have just wrestled a complete match, and they still got 2 falls to go. And it's 1 fall away. Paul London could win this thing, 2 falls to nothing.
You're exactly right there, and that was a defensive maneuver that gained Paul London the first fall victory. What a beautiful counter by Paul London.
And the 30-second rest period is over. We're into the second fall. There you hear the fans, the London fans chanting 1 more fall. London extending the hand, of course. You don't have to shake it here. It's not the code of honor. It's already been done before and after the match. But Danielson shakes and then unloads. I think he's hot after losing that first fall, and he's taking the aggressiveness right to Paul London. But London fighting right back with those forearms now. Reversal. Up and over goes London. Forearm right to the face.
What a nice maneuver by Paul London, as looks like he's setting for a super kick here.
No, Danielson saw it coming, stops it, misses a rolling elbow. Oh, glancing super kick by London, didn't catch him the whole way. Oh, but that caught him.
That got him right there. And Dragon's down. London should go for that pinfall attempt right now, because if he does, he's going to win this entire match.
And he looks like he's going up. He could be going for that shooting star. Danielson might be knocked out after that kick to the back of the head. And the second fall could happen very quickly right here.
London to the top, but no, Dragon catches him. And he crotches him on the top rope. What's he going for? Is he going for that backdrop driver off the top rope?
No, London fighting out of it. Back elbows. Kind of shades of what we saw at Night of the Butcher. There you heard that "Please Don't Die" chant as London keeps fighting. Both these guys so much fighting each other.
Big headbutt.
And right now, Dragon's right in position for that shooting star, or excuse me, the London star, if London can get it. And Danielson's up again.
Danielson meets Paul London once again on the top rope, as both these men are in a precarious position. And London fighting for his life right here. An elbow and another one to the head of American Dragon.
And look at how those connect. Rewind is put in slow motion. You'll see that those blows are no joke. And now back headbutts by London right to the face of Danielson. And down goes Danielson.
He's down once again. London's got to turn around here.
Both men tired, both men exhausted, as London going up, and it's going to be all about who gets there.
Dragon once again.
Oh, he just drop kicked the knee. Did you see that, Ray?
Yeah, he kicked the knee right from on under him. And London's in a lot of pain as he's held up on the top rope there.
And that cable is ripping into that knee of Paul London. Oh, Paul London's body weight pressing that knee down against the cable. And Danielson very aggressive here, taking advantage of the situation. Referee Paul Turner trying to keep Danielson back and having a hard time of it as Danielson sees an opportunity. He's down 1 fall. He's going to do what it takes.
And he viciously viciously attacked the knee of Paul London right there. Some of the fans are booing, but some are cheering. This crowd is split 50-50. But Dragon right now has got to take advantage of the injured London.
They're chanting, "Where's your honor?" at Danielson. Well, Danielson is a man of honor. There's no doubt about that, and I can't blame him for getting a little aggressive, being down one fall.
Technically, he didn't break the code of honor. He's just being aggressive here.
Can't fault him for that. He wants to win. That's what it's all about, winning, climbing the rankings.
Oh, vicious shin breakers. He just drove his knee and shin into the corner, and London just got dumped to the floor.
And not only 25 minutes into this thing.
25-minute mark. And Paul London is definitely in a lot of trouble here as he's favoring that leg. And Dragon following up with a headbutt.
Danielson definitely more aggressive right now. London in a lot of trouble. As you saw that leg being heavily worked on, as it wasn't just driven into that corner pad, it was driven right to where that steel is, and that's just a little bit of steel. And you know what it feels like to get a little knob of steel just driven into a body part? That hurts a lot, and London's leg is in a lot of trouble. Real quick though, I gotta say it, for a selection of over 5,000 videotapes from every promotion, including Dragon tapes, Daniels, everybody from ROH, check rfvideo.com, call 215-891-9404. If you're looking for a tape of a famous wrestler, even the biggest names in the business, RF Video probably has it, including lots of indie action from all over the wrestling world, including $12 sales, over 4,000 tapes on sale for $12 at rfvideo.com. And 215-891-9404 is your number for the latest on ROH, ROHWrestling.com. Let's get back to the match.
And London now firing on top of Dragon as he's gained a slight advantage here as they're rolling into the ropes. London looks a little pissed off here as Dragon powders to the floor, but he's being fouled by London.
London, he's feeding off that aggressiveness of Danielson, and London really has to show this aggressiveness right here because he can't let anything more happen to that leg, because that leg is a big part of his offense, and without a leg, he is very susceptible to anything that Danielson wants to hit. Danielson now has that leg in a bad spot, misses the enziguri.
And a big Dragon screw, but also with an injured leg, Paul London wouldn't be able to execute that London Star press that has brought him so many victories here in ROH.
Not at all. And look at Danielson. He's got that half crab on, and look at him wrench back on it.
Half crab. London's got to get to the rope. He's in a lot of pain.
And very smart, Danielson opting for the half crab instead of the full Boston crab, because he's isolating that one leg that he's been working on. And look at him pull London away from the ropes. And if you're Paul London, you got to think about tapping right now, and because you're up one fall, you can tap, get out of the hold, and you're even. It's one fall to a finish at that point.
You're exactly right, but Dragon once again pulls him into the middle of the ring, and look at that!
He wrenches farther back, and there's the little things. He's got that knee in the back of the head, which is causing more leverage. London tapped. He had no choice.
And we're tied at one fall apiece here. Paul London just tapped. But is he going to be able to continue here in the third fall? I don't know how much Bryan Danielson took out on him. We're going to have to wait and see. And we have a 30-second rest period here. Paul London wishes it was 30 minutes, I can tell you that. Look at him. He is in a lot of pain. Look at him laying there on the floor. Dragon just blown up, but London in a lot of pain. And now the third fall starting, and Dragon once again aggressively all over Paul London here, but Dragon fighting for his life.
And enziguri saves London. London definitely at the disadvantage as that leg is hurting, but both men have taken a brutal, stiff beating in this match so far. And Danielson right back to the leg, very smart. And I can't believe the fans are still this into it. Almost 30, are we 30 minutes? About 30 minutes into this match.
We're almost 30 minutes into this match, as Paul London's countering with some vicious kicks to the face.
Did you see Danielson's whole head jar on? Oh, another one. His whole head just rocked on that.
That'll knock some teeth out or bust open your eyebrow or something. Those kicks were vicious.
When you see someone's head jolt like that, you know that a connection's been made. You know that he was hit hard, and that's what we just saw as London fighting with everything he has. Both men going on their heart right now. Both men excellent conditioning. It's paying off right now.
Vicious. I can't believe it. Dragon might be out. Paul London's definitely got to capitalize on this. Dragon's down. but how much energy has been expended by Paul London?
Well, both men, excellent condition. You saw Danielson go 30 minutes with Doug Williams at Scramble Madness. You saw London go all that time at the first anniversary show, over 30 minutes. So these two have the conditioning, they have the skill, but they've both taken a brutal beating thus far, and I think we're seeing a classic right here.
You're absolutely correct. This is shaping up to be one of the finest matches in ROH history, as Bryan Danielson just delivered another uppercut, a European uppercut to the face of Paul London. And another. Both these guys going back and forth, Dragon scooping a slam, but no. But look at London favoring that leg.
He's got him in that DDT. He's pinned guys before with it. He needs the cover in order to get the pinfall. But what a high-impact move, that DDT cover.
No, kicked out.
Not quite enough. And Paul London right now, he's forgetting about that issue he has with AJ Styles where he wants to go after the tag titles. He's forgetting about all that. He's just focused right now on Bryan Danielson, on winning this match, a battle of pride. Oh, look at that. London unable to get Danielson up for the body slam. The leg too weak, but a cover.
Not enough, as we are 30-plus minutes here, as we're in a third fall here.
And you heard that crowd showing their appreciation before with that clap. That's what I love to hear in ROH, because it's not for any one thing in particular, not a big crazy move. It's an appreciation of what these two are doing in the ring to each other, and that's hammering each other with those stiff forearms. Back and forth they go. Oh, another one. Oh. And this is when all those techniques that they used to wear each other down in the early goings of the match, that's when they really comes into play. This time Danielson finally connects with that roaring forearm cover. Oh, so close.
He almost had him.
Cattle mutilation. He's going for cattle mutilation.
He's got it hooked. But no, London hits the ropes.
That cattle mutilation is what Danielson likes to use as a finish. That or the dragon suplex. And he finally had it hooked for the first time on London, but London too close to the ropes.
And thankfully, Paul London got out of that quick before it inflicted a lot of damage.
And the fans, I think the fans have just as much endurance as these wrestlers right now to be cheering this loud, this far into the match. Cover!
No, not enough. The fans getting their second and third win here. What an integral part of this matchup they have become.
And you know what? This is great to watch on TV in your living room or wherever you are, but there's nothing like experience this live, and there's only one place that offers this kind of atmosphere, and that's ROH. And that's why ROH has got this following over the first year. It's an appreciation of action like this, as now you see Danielson and London both down, both exhausted. It's all about heart. It's all about courage at this point. It's all about determination. It's all about conditioning. Oh, and you can hear that impact cover.
And what a flurry of strikes there by Paul London. Both these guys almost fighting for their lives here. Both these men, a lot has been taken out of them, as London, what's he go for? A big Ingazuri by Dragon as London is down.
Did you see him climb up London's leg for extra leverage there on that Enziguri, extra power on the Enziguri, I should say?
It's those little things that Bryan Danielson does that makes him the star that he is.
And Danielson has taken such a beating in this match, and he's still on his feet. He's still coming at London strong. A second climbing Enziguri.
And London just got rocked.
And look at the faces of those people, every single one of them glued on the ring. They're not talking to each other. They're just watching this action, and that's what I love to see. That's what ROH is all about. That's what athletic wrestling is about. That's what pure wrestling is about. This is pure wrestling as a sport. Screw sports entertainment. You're seeing the best go at it right here. Dragon suplex, this could be it!
But London, with that burst of energy, kicks out.
I can't believe he got out of the dragon suplex, and he's grabbing the half grab again. He's got it again.
That did a lot of damage to London in the first fall. But London gets to the ropes. Referee Paul Turner breaking it up.
Paul London, will he tap again to that half crab? Danielson taking a chance that he would. Danielson won the second fall with it, and going back to the leg. The leg of London has to be aching, it has to be hurt, and he can't put any support on it. And hold on, London's got Dragon hooked. He's got him hooked. We've seen him use that power bomb before. Very unique variation of it. Danielson trying to hold on the ropes. No, dumps him down.
He's got to go for the cover. But he might have knocked himself out as well.
Well, London's taken such a beat in this match. Both men spent, but London hitting that high-impact move, and I think it's all going to be about who gets lucky for those 3 seconds, who gets that one move that puts somebody down. I don't know if either of these men are going to tap at this point, but you could also see a tap. There's no telling what could happen. London trying to get his feet, every ounce of effort that he has, struggling, all that heart that he has. He's using every bit of it to try to get up to his feet.
This is nothing but a battle of endurance, a battle of courage, a battle of heart. Who's going to come out victorious in this match?
And I think he's thinking of going for that London Star press. Will he be able to hit it like he normally does with his leg that injured, or will he get that a quick adrenaline rush to let him hit it? But right now, he's struggling just to get to the top rope.
You're right, he could barely get to the top rope. How's he going to execute his big move if he can't even stand?
35 minutes has expired.
And we're at the 35-minute mark here. How much longer can these guys go?
And you heard that "Please Don't Die" chant. The fans show that concern for Paul London. It all started out unscripted in that legendary ladder match, street fight against Michael Shane. And London showed his heart there, and he's showing it again right here. But you can't take too much time with Danielson. Danielson, one of the best in the world. There's no debate about that. He is one of the top pro wrestlers in the world right now, and he is unleashing those forearms on the back of London.
And look at him firing up on the back of London. And the fans appreciative of this intense action. And now Daniel scaling to the top rope to get Paul London.
And London reverses before.
But no, a big back suplex off the top rope. This could be it.
What high impact we just saw. Danielson, he could have the pin if he turns London over. He does. Here's the cover.
But no, not enough. And Dragon going for that leg as he's got that half crab again. This has done the most damage to London so far in this match, this particular move.
Please don't tap.
And Dragon has it in the ring again.
London holding on.
But no, and Dragon again with the knee into the back of the head. This could be it. London desperately needs to get to the ropes.
And look at the pain on London's face. Can he hold on? The crowd either chanting, "Please don't tap," or "tap." And London's close to those ropes. He's inching towards the ropes. He's close. Look at the fans waving him to the ropes.
And he got it. Thankfully, Paul London got to the ropes. But I don't know how he's going to be able to continue. So much has been taken out on him.
So much damage on Paul London lately. He has to come back with some high-impact moves soon. Danielson first with that big back suplex on the top rope, then grabbing that leg again.
And Dragon just strategically kicking the back of the head of Paul London. As London's out on his... He's out. He's having trouble getting up. And Dragon jawing with the London fans.
Cover.
Still not enough. Dragon's got to hit a big impact move here. Paul London he's in dire position right here.
I think the next big impact move is going to win this match.
You're right. Paul London, though, he's almost defenseless here.
Both men exhausted, and they're getting into a dangerous situation again.
If he hits another one of those moves off the top rope, it might be it for Paul London. I don't think he'll be able to kick out. As Dragon once again elevating.
But he's putting London right in his environment. This is where he's most dangerous, on the top.
Wait, he's not going to suplex him to the floor, is he? He's in position to. London's got to block this.
Oh, back elbow. London fighting back. London showing that fighting spirit, coming back. Oh, headbutt. Shades of Night of the Butcher again. Shades of their classic on December the 7th. Fighting back is London.
And thankfully, London knocks Dragon off. If he would have suplexed him like I thought he would, both these guys, no way they'd be able to continue.
Both of their careers might have been over.
You're exactly right, but London again on the top rope, but Dragon scales up again. London fighting for his life here. And I can't just believe the intensity and the action we're seeing here. These guys are ring warriors.
And look at those headbutts. And Danielson looks out now. Danielson looks out from those headbutts as he was leaning on London for support. That was the only thing keeping him on the top rope. London's got him hooked for something. What is it? Spinning DDT.
And did you see how his neck landed on his side? He just got jarred into the mat and to the side of Paul London.
His whole neck and vertebrae have to be knocked out of place after the way his body twisted. I've never seen a swinging DDT like that before from that position.
Is London what's London doing? He should have gone for a cover right there. I think Dragon's done.
I think London's too exhausted to go for a cover. I don't think London can get him over.
I think London's out. Both these guys. And we're at the 40-minute mark, and Paul London, with every energy left in his body, going to the top rope.
He's having trouble. He's doing this on one leg, basically.
But Dragon's not in position on the floor for the London Star that he usually goes for.
We are under 40 minutes. Dragon making his way to his feet, though. London's in danger of being cut off right now as Dragon's making his way to his feet. And hold on. London Star press. London Star press. He's turning him over.
Is this it? And London wins.
What a unique atmosphere we have in this building right now. AJ Styles in the white, American Dragon Bryan Danielson in the blue. The #1 Contenders Trophy on the line. The winner of this match will go on to November 29th, where they will face Samoa Joe for the ROH World title. And what makes this even more unique is AJ Styles has been selected as Samoa Joe's partner for November the 28th in Fairfield, Connecticut, to go after the Briscoes for the ROH World Tag Team titles.
And what a double shot weekend that's going to be, as AJ Styles and Bryan Danielson with the stalemate there on the lockup. What a great match this is.
I can't believe the atmosphere. AJ Styles, one of the best in the world. Of course, he deserves a shot at the #1 Contenders Trophy. No doubt about that. No one will argue that point, especially after that victory over CM Punk in Glen Burnie, Maryland on October 16th. What a great match that was. Bryan Danielson, we have not seen him in ROH since the epic encounter last April. So you might be asking yourself, why is he in this match? Well, he's one of the best in the world. He had perhaps ROH's match of the year against Paul London earlier this year. He defeated Samoa Joe at the first anniversary show. So what?
It's like we're actually honoring everything he has done for this company.
He built this company, the three-way, on the very first show where Honor Begins. He defeated Loki at Round Robin Challenge 2. He helped make this company what it is today, so of course he deserves a shot at that trophy. The winner of this match, November 29th, they will get a world title shot against Samoa Joe. As there you see them struggling. Hey,
back and forth they go.
You know what?
What's that?
Why don't we try something a little different? I mean, there's such a great atmosphere in this building. Why don't we go, Ray, and watch the show from the crowd and just let the action speak for itself as both men spill to the floor right now?
Are we going to get paid for doing this job?
We'll still get paid. Both men struggling on the floor. Real quick, I got to plug it. ROHWrestling.com, RVideo.com, 215-891-9404 for all your tape needs, over 5,000 tapes. ROHWrestling.com for all the latest news. What a struggle.
Yeah, what an intense struggle on the floor this is. You're right. I want to go watch this.
Let's go see if we can find a seat in the bleachers.
Do you see any seats?
No, but we'll find one. Let's let the action speak for itself. For Ray Morrow, I'm Chris Lovey signing off. What a great match we have. November 29th, the winner will get a title shot. We'll see at ROH's first double shot weekend.
You're buying popcorn.
Come on, AJ! Come on! Off! Off! guys, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, AJ, get him off. Let's go. Come on, AJ, give it. 1, 2. Break it, get him out. Let's go. You gotta be kidding me. 2, Dragon. 1, 2. 2 again, Dragon. What's needed?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the biggest and perhaps most historic show in ROH history. It's Final Battle 2003. We're here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the PA National Guard Armory, the new home of Ring of Honor. And we have what an opening match here. Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon in the blue. One half of the ROH Tag Team Champions, Jay Briscoe in the black. I'm Chris Lovey, joined by CM Punk.
And exactly why isn't it the most historic night in Ring of Honor history?
Because we have two gigantic shows on one tape. The first half, you're going to see the ROH show. The second half, it's Ring of Honor against All Japan. And what a lockup we're seeing so far by Danielson and Briscoe. But before we get to the match, I just
Danielson and Briscoe. Anyway, so do you think the crowd would be at all upset if maybe somebody tried to ruin the show?
CM Punk, I don't like where you're going with this.
I know exactly where I'm going with this.
I do.
I'm going to ruin this show, Chris Lovey, until I find out who took out Lucy in Dayton, Ohio.
Well, CM Punk, that is why I'm very glad to have you in the broadcast booth. You already tried to ruin the convention card this afternoon, which is sold as a separate tape from our video. And you tried to ruin the show in Fairfield, Connecticut last month, and you tried to ruin the show in Framingham, Massachusetts. This is an important night for ROH. All eyes around the world are on Ring of Honor right now on December 27th for Final Battle 2003. We want you to stay here in the broadcast booth. Do not ruin this show.
Well, believe me, I'm scouting talent right now. No, not to join the Second City Saints, because I already have assembled the most dominant group in Ring of Honor history. What I'm doing is scouting opponents, because someday, somewhere down the line, I will have to face the Briscoes, maybe in singles, maybe in tag team, and I will have to face American Dragon. So I come here to see what Dragon brings to the table after recently coming back from Europe.
What you're dealing with here are two of the best pure wrestlers in the world, and this gives me an opportunity to mention that ROH is set to introduce a pure wrestling title at the second anniversary show, and we're going to have a one wrestling champion. There will be different rules in the pure wrestling division, and those will be announced shortly. That'll definitely be something to keep an eye on in 2004.
Danielson going for cattle mutilation early.
Danielson has targeted the shoulder joint of Jay Briscoe and the arm of Jay Briscoe. Of course, that softens up Jay Briscoe for the cattle mutilation. Jay Briscoe, he'll be looking for that Jay Driller. The Jay Driller pinned Chris Daniels on just the last ROH show, so that Jay Driller can pin anybody at any time. And what's even more interesting is the Briscoes are slated to defend the ROH Tag Team titles against Samoa Joe, who they are at war with. And Samoa Joe has picked none other than Bryan Danielson as his partner. That'll be happening in Wilmington, Ohio on January the 10th.
Now, you talk about the Jay Driller and you talk about catamulation and all these fancy moves and stuff like that, but what Jay Briscoe has right now on American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, is a side headlock, and it appears to be clamped on like a vice. So far, Danielson has tried 3 different ways to escape, and none of them have worked.
Bryan Danielson's so good at the little things, and you're right, he has been using those little things.
Look at how this move works, Chris Lovey. He has it clamped around his head. He's cutting off the oxygen flow to his brain. And now he drops a leg, goes right through a chin lock. And like I was about to say, look at Danielson's face. It's turning red. And you can tell this move's effective because the rest of Danielson's body is the color of a bottle of 2% milk.
Danielson squeezing the head of Bryan Danielson. Very effective. Gary Moore on top of it. I love this pure wrestling action. I can't wait for the pure wrestling title in 2004. Danielson now going, trying to turn Briscoe around. Beautiful Boston Crab by Danielson.
Too close to the ropes, and he wasn't able to step over his opponent. This place is absolutely electric, Lovey.
Oh, you have to be here live to experience an atmosphere like this with the crowd chanting for both Dragon and Briscoe. Dragon going right back to the arm, takes Briscoe over, and he's just twisting that arm of Jay Briscoe, trying to rip it out of the shoulder socket, and then, of course, cattle mutilation. It'll be all over. Look at Briscoe grinding that forearm into the face of Danielson. Danielson now grinding his forearm into the face of Briscoe, and oh, what intensity.
Neither men wanting to budge right there. You know, I didn't realize the crowd came here to see the crowd came here to see the B card. I thought they came here just to see the All Japan superstars. You know, and I got an inkling. Maybe I should just go ruin this match.
Why don't you just stay seated right here? There's no B card. This is probably the best 8 matches that you'll ever see on any lineup anywhere. It was so good that we had to divide it into 2 halves, an ROH half and an ROH versus All Japan half. And right now you see Bryan Danielson trying to kick off Briscoe, but Briscoe's like a vice on Danielson in this match. Danielson, though, using leverage, getting out of the hold.
He rolls back and he keeps the Greco-Roman knuckle out. You know, Danielson's got 1,000,001 ways to get out of every single hold that you can possibly backslide attempt. Danielson on his feet.
Whip in. Perfect dropkick on Briscoe.
Would you say this match is a good example of what you're going to see in the pure wrestling division?
I would say it's a great example of what you're going to see. It is what we are striving for with the pure wrestling division and the pure wrestling title to be decided at the 2nd anniversary show in a one-night 8-man tournament. Briscoe going back to work on the arm. It should be noted that conspicuous by his absence once again is the manager of the Briscoes, Jim Cornette. As look at Jay grinding that forearm, into the face of Danielson and then going and wrenching the neck. Jim Cornette has not been seen in ROH since that locker room attack by Samoa Joe on Cornette at Main Event Spectacles on November 1st, but Cornette does remain in. Oh, look at that! No clean break by Briscoe. That's going to be Cornette's influence right there, as Cornette obviously still teaching lessons to Jay Briscoe.
Cornette showing the kids how to cheat. Not surprised.
Yep, that's what Cornette's known for. That's what he's so good at. But you notice Jay Briscoe going right back to that headlock. Back suplex attempt, and Briscoe still does not release that hold.
Dragon's attempted a lot of stuff to get out of quite a few holds that Briscoe has on, but Briscoe, like you said, has got him on like a vice.
Jay Briscoe about to turn 20 years old, already half of the ROH Tag Team Champions. There's no telling what kind of superstar status he is going to reach as he maintains that headlock still.
No, it looks like Danielson's putting pressure on his shoulder. He's got his arm now.
Yep. That's an effect of what Danielson did earlier, working on that arm or shoulder. When he went back to it, Jay Briscoe in too much pain to hold on to that headlock. Very nicely done by Danielson. Very sound strategy. Briscoe trying to shake off the pain. And I can't wait until Danielson teams up with Samoa Joe against the Briscoes. If you saw the convention card this afternoon, you saw a little altercation between Danielson and Joe. Danielson saving Joe basically from the Briscoes, and then Joe offering a handshake. And oh, hold on. Let's listen to that crowd again.
No, I'm actually interested in what you have to say.
Well, I just love this live atmosphere. I wish I could sit in the crowd and watch instead of having to talk. But basically, Samoa Joe extended his hand to Danielson. Daniel said, hey, there's no code of honor. We're not having a match. I'll shake your hand before you defend that world title against me, and then I'll shake it again after I beat you for the world title. Strong words there. But could you imagine if Danielson and Samoa Joe get focused as a team? I'd have to say they're definitely going to be the new ROH Tag Team Champions in Ohio.
Well, it's definitely bold words from the whitest man in America.
Danielson now. You better watch out what you say about Bryan Danielson. I wouldn't want to raise his ire the way that you have with B.J. Whitmer. What a European uppercut by Bryan Danielson. We can talk about B.J. Whitmer later as he's in that Field of Honor finals. Another big European uppercut by Bryan Danielson. Jay Briscoe, though, fighting back.
Suplex attempt and he scores.
Jay Briscoe proved against Samoa Joe that tradition continues. He can take a beating and he'll keep fighting back. And he's showing that to Danielson right now as he takes his head off with that lariat.
Damn near took him out of his boots.
Bryan Danielson, look at that face. Intense, but also in a lot of pain as Jay Briscoe stomps at his head.
Now, Briscoe's fully in control of this match right now, and he needs to capitalize.
Oh, what a chop. And look at Danielson trying to absorb that pain, and I think it's just making him angry. Oh, look at that look on Danielson's face. We have a standoff between Danielson and Briscoe. Ouch. Well, that'll rock your world and take you right off your feet. Bryan Danielson unleashing a heavy offense, whipping Jay Briscoe in. Briscoe, though, with a kick. Hangman's neck breaker. Very well executed.
was still feeling the effects of that European uppercut. Fantastic. Briscoe up to his feet. Now he can't let his pride get in the way. He got shown up there, and I'm sure he's going to try to go right back to a give and take situation here. But what he needs to do is he needs to pick apart Bryan Danielson. He needs to go after his neck so he can hit his J driller.
Danielson definitely has to have cobwebs after that long headlock earlier in the match. Danielson underneath. Stepping enziguri by Danielson. Danielson now has a chance to unleash some offense here on Jay Briscoe. A couple of big European uppercuts. Whips Briscoe in. Underneath.
I'd say that was a nice hello from Europe.
Danielson unleashes that European uppercut. Briscoe might be out. Danielson perhaps going for a Death Valley driver.
Or maybe not. Maybe he's going for the airplane spin.
And that he is. Drops Briscoe down.
I hope he sends Al Perez a 25-cent money order.
Al Perez.
Helicopter.
Big flying headbutt by Bryan Danielson. We have a cover. Kick out at 2 by Briscoe.
I'm surprised Briscoe still has anything left in him. This is we should make note, this is his second match of the night.
You're right about that. In the afternoon on the convention card, he defended the tag titles against the SAT. Oh, what a slap by Briscoe. Danielson's not going to take it. Briscoe fires back. He won't back down from anybody.
Oh, he spit on him.
That's insulting. Oh, and Danielson one-ups him. That has to be the Jim Cornette influence right there as Briscoe goes to the eyes. Jay Briscoe learning those lessons from Cornette well, and you have to wonder, when are we going to see the Louisville Slugger, Jim Cornette, back in ROH?
The Louisville Slugger.
As there you see Briscoe, though, trying to get Danielson up.
Is that what he calls him? Does he call himself the Louisville Slugger?
He did back in the day. Don't you remember that talk show segment? And there's a Falcon Arrow by Briscoe as he finally gets Danielson up. Cover! You notice both men going for the pinfall, going for the win at every opportunity. They know it only takes 3 seconds, and it's all about the W. You always have to go for that cover. Briscoe sending Danielson up for a big move. He better not take too much time, and he hits him with that Mafia kick. Cover! Ref Gary Moore, just a 2-count. And can you believe CM Punk? This is just the opening match on tonight's show. This could be a main event on any other show.
You're sitting at home and you're watching this. It really doesn't do it justice. This crowd is 1,500 strong, and they're vocal, and it's absolutely electric in here. There's just a mood in this building that I cannot explain right now.
And they could be seeing the J Driller, but Dragon goes to the ropes. No, Briscoe pounding him with those knees. Going for the J Driller one more time. It's all over if he hits it. Danielson out of the hold. And CM Punk, you better sit here.
Hey, he scores again with the Mafia kick.
One more time. I don't want any chance of you ruining this match the way that you've ruined the last 3 shows that ROH has had. Jay Briscoe now, he's got Bryan Danielson in trouble. Can he follow up? Can one half of the ROH Tag Team Champions follow up and score a victory? And what a win this would be.
First, Lovey, I'll have you know that I sell tapes. Dragon Suplex!
It's all over! Oh, how did Briscoe get out of that?
And just like that, right into cattle mutilation.
This is where that work on the arm, on the shoulder will pay off for Danielson. Briscoe's got nowhere to go. He's stuck in the middle of the ring, and he gives! He gives! Bryan Danielson is your winner! What an opening match! We have a first-time ever dream match. CM Punk against the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. And look at your special referee, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. You hear the crowd firmly behind Bryan Danielson in this one. And Ricky Steamboat, you know he wants revenge on CM Punk. Punk at a definite disadvantage with Steamboat as his referee, but you know what? Steamboat is a man of integrity. He's a man that's not going to let his personal feelings get in the way of calling this match fairly. Danielson. You hear those fans with those ole ole chants. That's from CM Punk's early days. Those fans very familiar with Punk as he gets in the face of a fan, and Bryan Danielson pushes him off. It's getting intense in the early going. And Punk outsmarting Danielson, rolling into the ring. Danielson now has to risk coming through those ropes. Punk could jump him. He was teasing it. Steamboat getting in the way, though. Ricky Steamboat, he signed on to referee a match, and he's going to referee that match. Punk might have tried to injure him earlier, but Steamboat is back. He is recovered from CM Punk's attack earlier tonight. Punk with a cheap shot, and now he's bailing out. He had both dragons on his ass right there. Steamboat telling Punk no more closed fists. Punk lying, claiming it was an open hand. Now we have a lockup. A dream match right here. A very important match for the top 5 rankings. Both men want to get in the title picture. Bryan Danielson proved that before on Samoa Joe's ring when he interrupted it once again, similar to what we saw. Battle lines are drawn. And you heard that ROH chant. These fans in St. Paul just happy to see 2 of the best athletes in the world in Bryan Danielson and CM Punk competing live right before them. And what a European uppercut. Now Danielson showing Punk he can play dirty too with that choke. Punk bailing to the outside. Steamboat calling this match fairly. He is a man of integrity. That's why he has so much respect in the locker room. Bryan Danielson, you did see him on Samoa Joe's ring at the beginning of this tape. He talked about Joe cheerleading when Joe was doing the ole ole kick at battle lines are drawn. And the match against the Briscoes, it was Danielson and Joe against the Briscoes. And since he was on the outside of the ring doing the ole ole kick, that allowed Jay to hit the Jay Driller on Danielson and pin him in what was just an excellent tag team title match. But as you saw, a little dissension between Joe and Danielson right there. Danielson has made it clear in the past that he wants at that ROH World title. He did it at the convention card on December 27th, the night of Final Battle 2003. And he did it on that Ohio show, Battle Lines Are Drawn. Punk in the ropes, Steamboat's calling for a break. Steamboat brought into Ring of Honor to bring some order to the Prophecy Second City Saints feud. He was supposed to do that earlier, but Punk attacked him. Steamboat is now back. Oh, and look at Steamboat grabbing the face of Punk just like he was a child. These Ring of Honor fans, they want to see Steamboat and Punk go at it. They want to see Steamboat get some revenge. Now we have a knuckle lock between the two men. Such an important match for the world title picture for the top 5 rankings. A dream match. Bryan Danielson, one of the men who made ROH.
We're in the corner, come on.
No one will forget his Match of the Year candidates on the first 2 Ring of Honor shows. As he is looking to stretch Punk. Punk, though, look at that, working on the arm and the wrist of Danielson. Danielson, though, getting out of it. Bryan Danielson, he is becoming a star in the New Japan promotion. That's why you don't see him so often in Ring of Honor anymore. But he is still firmly committed to ROH, and he wants to chase Joe. Or whoever the world champion might be for that matter.
He backed me into these ropes, and he pulled my hair.
Are you kidding me? Steamboat asking the crowd. Steamboat showing Punk what a hair pull really is. Steamboat is just owning Punk so far in this one. We are about 6 minutes in, and we have a knuckle lock right now. You know, I do have to mention, the fans really want to see Ricky Steamboat wrestle here, especially against CM Punk, but it's not going to happen. Steamboat is out of action with a back injury that he suffered several years ago. He can no longer wrestle, so that is why you see him in this authority role, refereeing here in ROH. Punk with the upper hand on Danielson now. Danielson trying to power up. Punk forcing him down to his knees again. Beautiful reversal by Danielson. That's why he's one of the best in the world today. That's why he's one of the men who made ROH what it is. Punk, of course, he better not look past this match, as he's got that tag title shot if Colt Cabana is okay tomorrow night. Cabana, I believe, is at the hospital right now getting his shoulders looked at. And Danielson going to work on the arm. Bryan Danielson, he has another dream match tomorrow night in Chicago against Homicide, who could be entering that match as the ROH World Champion, as it's Homicide versus Samoa Joe next for the world title. Two first-time dream matches right here on the Reborn weekend for Bryan Danielson, as he takes Punk down, working on that arm, twisting it, causing pain to race from the fingers to the shoulder of CM Punk. Punk rolls through, trying to change the leverage. He backs Danielson into the corner. There's going to have to be a break here. Oh, and once again, not a clean break from CM Punk. Nice traditional backdrop. And now he's driving that knee into the upper spine of Danielson while applying that chin lock, pulling back on the chin, causing pain all across the upper body of Danielson while trying to cut off all the oxygen supply. Back elbows by Danielson. He whips Punk in. Catches him with a knee right to the abdomen. Big kick to the back. And a knee to the head. Danielson trying to soften up Punk all over. And there's a 2 count from Steamboat. Not quite enough. It's going to take more than that to beat someone like CM Punk. And there you see Danielson stretching Punk, stretching the abdomen, pulling back on the chin, stretching the neck of Punk as well. Punk trying to go to the eyes to break it. Danielson fights off though. And now he's pulling at the nose of Punk. And look at that, twisting his head in an unnatural position. That could wrench the neck for good. Ah, look at that. Punk had to get out of that hold any way that he could. CM Punk, a couple of kicks to the chest of Danielson, wrenching the neck right now. Returning the favor to Danielson. Snap mirrors him over, applies a front face lock. Both men still feeling each other out in the early going of this one. Trying to wear each other down for the later parts of this match. Neither man going for a quick victory. Punk trying to wrench the neck of Danielson again. Punk catches Danielson. Rolls forward, nicely done. Oh, split leg moonsault, but Danielson catches him. Punk once again clutching at those abdominal muscles. Oh, and Danielson goes to work on him. Unique headbutt right to the abdominal muscles once again. And Punk rolling out of the ring. He needs a breather. Danielson aggressively follows him though. there in St. Paul. So happy to see a great wrestling match like this live and in person in a Ring of Honor ring. Shoves Punk down. Now he's going to the legs, it looks like. Uh-oh, he's got Punk in a bad way right now. Punk needs to get out of this hold in a hurry. Steamboat looking on. What's Danielson trying to do here? He's going for those arms of Punk. If he gets them, Punk's going to be in a terrible position, and he does. He has them. And now trying to swing. And he cinches Punk, and he is just stretching those abdominal muscles of CM Punk right there. He could tear one of those stomach muscles with a move like that. Punk has to think about his tag team title shot tomorrow night. Cabana might already be going into it injured if Cabana's even able to wrestle. The Briscoes were just in a very hard-hitting match against the Havana Pitbulls, but you know they're going to be ready for Chicago at ROH Reborn Stage 2 tomorrow night. And there's a reversal by Danielson. He's going for an abdominal stretch. Punk doing everything he can to fight out of it. He's fighting for his life. Punk now has Danielson. Suplexes him to the floor. Punk connects with his first high-impact move of the match. Both men getting tired. Bryan Danielson can't afford for this match to go long or take a lot of punishment either. He's got the notorious 187 homicide tomorrow night. Punk working on Danielson on the floor. No countouts here in ROH. But if you're out there for too long, the referee can disqualify you. Big forearm. Real quick, I gotta pay the bills. For all ROH home releases, check out ROHWrestling.com. Or call 215-891-9404. ROHWrestling.com. ROH live events, updated cards, the Newswire with news almost every day from behind the scenes. Check it out. CM Punk now working on the back of Bryan Danielson, throws him into the ring. Steamboat ordering it to happen. And there's a kick to the back of Bryan Danielson. Now he's going back to that chin lock, and notice he once again has that knee into the spine of Danielson. And look at Danielson, who was trying to grasp his hands together to make a ball to get rid of those arms around his mouth right there, not quite working. Danielson, the pain has to be racing up and down his spine as he tries to get out of the hold. He is to his feet. Going to the abdomen once again of Punk. Backbreaker by Punk. Cover. Danielson gets the ropes. A fair count by Steamboat. Not letting his personal feelings get in the way. He is having fun with CM Punk in this match, but he's still going to be a fair official. Punk once again goes to the back of Bryan Danielson. Danielson lighting up Punk with those chops, and Punk with a cheap thumb to the eye stops him. Drop kick right to the back of the head, and look at Danielson. He is definitely dazed and hurt from that. Steamboat checking on him. Danielson, of course, wants to continue. Oh, look at that choke. Steamboat ordering him off. Quick 5 count there by Steamboat, and Punk deserved it. No need for chokes in a match like this. And look at Punk trying to intimidate Steamboat. Roll up. Oh, a quick count by Steamboat. Steamboat showing Punk, if you're going to mess with me, I'm going to mess with you. Steamboat showing Punk who's boss. What's Punk going for here? Perhaps a vertical suplex. No, Dragon blocks it by lowering his base. Oh, drapes Punk's stomach first over that steel cable. Big European uppercut. Punk holds on for his life. Oh, look at that. Draping the throat across the top rope. Punk springboards in with a dropkick right to the back of Danielson. Cover. And there you see Punk pulling back on the chin. Once again, trying to work on the back of Bryan Danielson. That move right there, it affects all points from the lower back to the upper back to the chin to cutting off oxygen. Danielson trying to get to his feet. No, Punk goes to the lower back, puts him back down, reapplies the hold. Steamboat right on top of things to see if Danielson wants to give. And look at Punk just trying to pull back. Once again, Danielson trying to power his way up. This has been a grueling match for both men. Once again, Punk goes to the lower back to put Danielson down. There he's showing that straight edge X, meaning he's drug-free, he's alcohol-free. He looks down on you if you drink.
Come on, Dragon!
Grinding the forearm into the eyes. That's just insulting as well as painful and aggravating. Danielson trying once again to get to his feet. Punk went to the well one time too many, and look at Steamboat, he loves it. What a counter by Danielson. Punk in a world of pain. Danielson, though, is dazed, but he gets to his feet. Unleashes a big chop. Another one. 3 big chops. Whips him in. Punk catches him. Scoops him up. What's he going for here? Danielson struggling to get out of the hold. Gets his feet on the ropes, pushes himself off. Takes Punk over. Has him. Just a 2 count. And look at the faces of these St. Paul fans. They are glued on that ring. They might not be making the most noise right now, but that's because they are so intensely watching this match. Look at that. You don't see them talking to each other. You don't see them distracted by anything. They are glued to that ring right now watching this classic develop. Danielson's getting his second win. He's getting an adrenaline rush. Scoops up Punk. Airplane spin. And he plants Punk, and both men have to be dizzy. And look at Danielson trying to get to his feet, but he's too dizzy. You know Punk's head has to be spinning on that canvas right now. Danielson has to be crazy. He's dizzy and he's trying to go to the top rope. Punk has enough sense to move out of the way. Both men trying to pull out high-impact moves now. They are tired. They're worn down. Big mule kick by Punk. Danielson catches Punk. He's bringing him down. If he turns it over, yes, cattle mutilation. This is a move that beat Low Ki. This move has beat Jay Briscoe. Oh, and look at the fans. They're on their feet. They finally got to see cattle mutilation live. Oh, what a counter by Punk. Shining Wizard. Danielson's down. Cover. Oh, so close. Both men might be just one move away from winning this match. What a grueling contest we have seen. Steamboat right on top of the action. CM Punk climbing up. Danielson's in a bad part of town right now. Perhaps a Pepsi plunge attempt. It is all over. Punk gets the Pepsi plunge. This move puts everyone down for a 3 count, and he's got him hooked. We could see it. Danielson trying his best to block it. Danielson holding on for his life right now. Oh, and he cuts off Punk with that forearm, and another one. Both men in dangerous territory on those ropes. And a headbutt sends Danielson off, and Danielson is staggered, but what a European uppercut. Suplex scores big for Danielson. And I love that yes, no chant we just heard from the fans cheering on who they want. What a unique chant from the fans here in the Midwest. Both men down. Steamboat's at 3. CM Punk, he called out the Briscoes earlier, but he's not thinking about the tag titles now. Both men might be counted down here. Oh, they get to their feet at 9. Punk has Danielson hooked. No, up and over. Oh, Punk holds on to the ropes. Another Shining Wizard attempts. Danielson ducks this time. Rolls him up again. This time gets it with a bridge. Cover! Just a 2 count. Crucifix. Oh, Punk drops down in a modified Samoan drop. And this could be the double lock. This is what made Raven tap. Punk has it hooked. He loses a 1 leg, but turns it into a half grab, even more effective. This is what made Raven tap in the very first Punk Raven match at Expect the Unexpected. What a classic that was. Will it make Bryan Danielson tap? The fans, they're cheering Danielson to reach the ropes. The pain has to be racing through Bryan Danielson's body as he struggles. Yes, he grabs the bottom rope. Steamboat breaks the hold. And look how tired and worn out Punk is, but Bryan Danielson seems to be in even worse condition right now. What's it going to take for a winner in this one? Both men only perhaps one big move away from winning it, and Punk thinks it could come now if he goes to the outside. He might be going up to the top rope. Yes, Punk ascending to the top rope. It backfired on him last time. Oh, Danielson connects right to the abdomen with that drop kick. He catches Punk. Dragon suplex. Cover. Just a 2 count. Danielson, he's got that abdominal stretch that Punk fought so hard to avoid earlier in the match. Danielson has been tearing at those abdominal matches all
referee wants to get Austin Aries into the ring to get this thing started.
Austin Aries definitely taking a time, perhaps planning a strategy. If Generation Next is really going to take all the top spots and be main event players here in ROH, Austin Aries has to defeat someone like Bryan Danielson and win survival of the fittest. Bryan Danielson, he wants that title shot, Samoa Joe so bad. In order to get at the world title, he has to win this match.
Austin Aries, one of the few men anywhere that can match Bryan Danielson's skill on the mat.
Both men cautiously with a lockup.
Reverse waist lock. Now it looks like it's going to be a tight ride by Danielson. And unable to sit out, or not even much of an attempt to sit out, Aries is just going to go ahead and go for the rope break. Now it's going to be interesting to see Austin Aries. Is he going to try to reverse it? Is he going to give up the right again and try to sit out?
Aries with a cocky swagger though, showing Bryan Danielson he's not intimidated by him. Danielson now wrenching in with that rear chin lock.
And look at the textbook. He's just plants those two forearms across the face. Now he's going to split the arms. Key lock. Bars the elbow. And he's going to bar both elbows. And there's nowhere to go. He's probably got the wrist locked. We can't see from this vantage point. But he bars the elbows and has the wrist locked, then just drops him.
You know, you also have two guys that are relatively fresh going into this match.
Boy, Austin Aries isn't fresh now, I promise that.
Yeah, he had to retreat to the ropes. And you notice Bryan Danielson, little intimidation factor, trying to kick Austin Aries. Before, when Aries was in the rope, Danielson slapped the back of his head. Danielson will always play those little intimidation games.
I think Aries needs to stick and move here. I think Aries needs to look for the opening, hit some suplex. Aries is probably just a little bit more explosive than Danielson, but we've seen Danielson probably the better of the two as a mat technician.
1 month ago, Generation Next exploded on the scene here in ROH with that 40-plus minute classic and that 8-man tag. Since then, they've wreaked havoc. They proved to be a renegade group with one purpose, to take all the top spots and become main event players here in ROH. And in order to do that, Austin Aries needs to score the win here. Bryan Danielson tried for counter mutilation now, not able to get it, and turned this into a modified camel clutch. Aries trying to push those hands away from his face and break the hold.
Every time they've locked up, Danielson has been able to ride Aries into whatever position he wanted to get him into. Aries hasn't been able to sit out, hasn't been able to escape, except to get to the ropes. And now it looks like he's going to get that, he's going to trap that leg, trap the ankle. And look at Danielson, goes right back to the chin to take the ankle away. Aries, it's a struggle right here. Aries is trying to keep that ankle grapevine, and I think the referee may be calling for Danielson to break. May have that a little bit too close to a choke.
I have to admit something, Mark. I would love to see the ROH World title around the waist of Bryan Danielson.
There is a cut, and it looks like a reasonably deep cut over the right ear of Danielson.
Interesting. I wonder how he has sustained that. That shows you the intensity that these guys are grappling with.
And now for the first time, it's Aries with the ride, and it's going to be Danielson going to the ropes.
And look at Aries slapping the back of the head of Bryan Danielson, similar to what Danielson did to him earlier, showing that he's not going to be intimidated by a man who's definitely going to be in the ROH Hall of Fame one day when that takes place years from now. A man who's definitely set the course for ROH and made ROH its reputation, Bryan Danielson.
Did you see that big scratch and that blood over the right ear?
Definitely, I noticed that. Good eye pointing that out. These men fighting with such intensity here. They want to be in line for a title shot. Aries wants to make his name, and he would definitely do that if he's able to defeat Bryan Danielson. Danielson trying to solidify a spot as the top player here in ROH.
Well, we've been talking about this whole match and this whole night, all the people that can make a claim they deserve the next shot at the ROH champion. And the winner of this match, if you could say, I walked into a ring with Samoa Joe, Homicide, Colt Cabana, Mark Briscoe, Bryan Danielson, and Austin Aries, and I was the one that got my hand raised. That's a pretty strong case that you need to get an immediate title shot.
That's why this is going to be an annual event, Survival is Fittest. It's so prestigious to win this.
Double underhook now by Danielson. Plants him with the suplex, immediately floats over.
And just look at that look of scorn and intensity on the face of Bryan Danielson. This is a man who wants that world title around his waist. Oh, what a European uppercut. And Aries fighting back somehow.
Look, you can take your criticisms of Austin Aries' attitude, and a lot of them will be well-founded. There is nothing wrong with Austin Aries as a competitor.
Catches him there. Aries trying to use that as his explosiveness, but he paid the price as Danielson knew what was coming and nailed that drop kick.
Danielson has Aries well scouted, apparently.
Austin Aries, he is the complete package. He can fly, he can mat wrestle, he has the high impact moves. Can he use it to defeat someone like Bryan Danielson?
Reverse step over toe hold. He's got the legs crossed. A modified crossover STF, if you will.
Too close to the ropes. And look at Austin Aries clutching those ropes for dear life.
Wants to make sure he gets that rope break. I don't blame him. He was wrapped up like a pretzel.
Danielson trying to stay on top of him. Ref Hansen doing a great job keeping control in this one.
Well, he really has, and especially when you consider the 6 athletes that he's had to deal with. Crotch hold left, plants him with a body slam. Bryan Danielson now measuring him, drops the knee over to the side of the head.
Pinpoint accuracy. Right into the rib cage. That'll make it difficult to breathe.
Double reverse toe hold, plants the knee into the back, and now it's going to come up and basically just grab a crossface, and now he's going to let go of the double toe hold.
Danielson driving that leg into the back of Austin Aries, increasing the torque in Aries' back. Ref Hansen right on top of it to see if Aries wants to give. It's going to take a lot more than that, and Aries is biting Danielson. That's desperation right there.
Well, you've got to figure out a way out of that.
Boy, I tell you, oh, look at that. Aries coming up with the arm and drops a knee on it. Austin Aries is taking everything. Danielson is dishing out and fighting back. Oh, and look at that European uppercut.
Danielson has been so impressive tonight.
He's always impressive, Mark. This is a man who made Arch's reputation. And Aries using the explosiveness and scoring this time. Connecting with that drop kick, and Danielson is in a bad position.
Well, and that's the great thing about Austin Aries. When you've got a guy this explosive, Austin Aries it gives you an opportunity to wrestle from behind, because all you have to do is hit one big move and you're right back in the match.
Oh, and last stiff drop kick to the back of the head of Danielson.
Now Austin Aries.
Danielson clutching at that knee, perhaps sustaining an injury there while he's hanging in the ropes. Of course, that's just a steel cable, and that'll really dig at your knee if you're hanging in a position like that. Austin Aries not hesitating to follow up. Similar to what we saw in the tag team match earlier tonight, Generation X not afraid to go to the floor.
Well, and this may be an area where Austin Aries has the advantage. We've seen that he does not have any advantage whatsoever on the mat.
Well, that whip into that steel will definitely give you an advantage.
The referee doing a good job trying to get this match back in the ring.
Of course, no countouts in ROH, but if you are out there too long, the referee can disqualify you. And now Austin Aries going for the whip in again. Once again, it connects.
Right into the ribs.
Danielson hard into the steel.
Have you ever had your ribs hurt? Have you ever had a broken rib or bruised ribs?
Oh, it just hurts even if you laugh, when you breathe.
When you breathe. If you try to draw a deep breath like all these guys are having to do right now.
And Danielson definitely in trouble on the floor.
I thought for a minute there, I thought Aries might be trying to fly, but that'd be a long trip. You'd have to have a stewardess for that flight.
Aries now taking Danielson back into the ring. Aries getting a first real advantage here. Slingshots himself in with a splash. Good for a 2 count.
Had that front leg hook, that's how you want to do it. Austin Aries, we've talked about how technically sound Bryan Danielson is. Austin Aries may be just as sound in his own way. Drop kick into the corner, nowhere to go for Danielson. Now a drop kick to the back of the head following the snapmare, hooks the front leg.
Aries so effective with those drop kicks in this match, hitting them from a plethora of different positions.
And look at every one of his covers have counted. Never a sloppy cover by Aries. Always has the leg hook. Always has the pressure on the chest and the shoulders. It takes a wrestler of the caliber of Bryan Danielson to be kicking out of the combinations that Aries is hitting him with.
Aries is a wrestling machine. And he could score the biggest win of Generation Next young ROH career right here. Connects the back elbow. Beautiful flying elbow. Good for a 2 count.
Austin Aries isn't quick, he's sudden. Now Austin Aries showing just a little bit of frustration.
And Danielson firing back with a headbutt to the abdomen.
Well, you don't need to give Bryan Danielson much of an opening at all.
He'll take advantage of anything. This man is so awesome in the ring. Oh, unleashes a big shot.
Now Danielson grounding the match, which is where he has the advantage.
And Danielson now taking it to Austin Aries. Fighting back in this back and forth contest. Who's going to win the first annual Survival of the Fittest? They'll be the answer to that trivia question. They'll be in the record books forever.
You make a great point. There's going to be more great matches like this, and there's going to be more great winners, but there's only going to be one first champion.
And a huge back elbow connects on the chin of Aries.
Takes Aries all the way to the apron. Now Danielson looks like he wants to suplex him back into the ring. Aries uses the ropes to block. Very nice counter by Austin Aries.
Beautifully done. Aries still fighting. Those punches to the gut effective. And he takes Danielson to the floor with a suplex. Danielson clutching at that knee. Perhaps he landed wrong on it. But there's no right way to land when you're going to the floor like that.
Boy, there's some ways worse than others, and landing on your knee counts as one of the worst than others. Now Aries is going to measure Danielson from the apron.
Cactus Jack style elbow, and I see a lot of blood on Austin Aries.
Truth or consequences? Well, I think he hit it with that elbow probably right on the ear.
Let's go, Dragon!
I believe it's the chin mark. Austin Aries' chin is split wide open.
This has been as much of a high-impact match as we expected it to be, and Aries and Danielson are representing themselves well as the two finalists. Both just tremendous technical wrestlers. Now he's going to block the leg shin buster into a backdrop suplex. Austin Aries, not only is he explosive, but he's explosive in combinations.
He's signaling for that 450. He pins everybody with it. It could be all over if he connects. Oh, Bryan Danielson moves, but Aries lands on his feet and gets taken, his head taken off.
Boy, this crowd is just electric. What a match they're seeing.
Who have one of their all-time favorites, Bryan Danielson, against a potential new superstar in Austin Aries. You have to be here live to experience something like this.
Just explodes with a clothesline. Decapitates Aries. That's going to be it. Hooks the back leg. No! Danielson immediately falls up to him with his advantage with a full Nelson.
Dragon suplex.
And with the high bridge. No!
And he's going for cattle mutilation. Yes, this is the move that defeated Loki in the match of the year at Round Robin Challenge, his second ever ROH show. It made Loki, the ROH legend, pass out. Can Austin Aries get out of it? And look at him. Getting to his feet. Wow, submission on! Danielson fighting for his life. Could you imagine if Austin Aries makes Danielson pass out or submit?
Aries keeps going back to the hold. He's got Danielson blocked. Danielson with the last ounce of strength gets to the ropes.
Aries has absolutely a vicious cut opened up on his chin. That thing is split open from the numerous blows on the chin.
I don't think Austin Aries is a potential superstar. After this effort, you can take the potential off that tag.
You're 100% right about that, Mark. And what a tough individual, unfazed by that busted open chin, going for the brainbuster. Danielson with a knee to the head blocks it. That cut is just split open. It started as a minor cut, it's just split open. Danielson keeps fighting out of brainbuster. Oh, an elbow.
Austin Aries has the momentum here. Austin Aries is feeling it.
He hits it. Cover. Oh, Aries is so close. He's so close to getting the biggest victory of his career. He's signaling for the 450 again. He pulled Danielson into the corner. With that split open chin and all, here it comes. If he hits it, it's over. Oh, Danielson gets the knees up.
Danielson has that move scouted.
Both men are down, though.
Both men have used their biggest finishing moves, and neither man has been able to get a victory.
They call this survival of the fittest for a reason, and we're witnessing why right here. What a headbutt. Oh, and Aries returns the favor. Danielson lunges in with another headbutt.
See, my head hurts just watching this. Huge forearm by Danielson. The counter by Aries.
What a struggle, what a fight we're seeing here.
You know, Bryan Danielson has come in as advertised, and Austin Aries is taking him to the limit of his considerable ability.
Austin Aries had started out with a small cut, and Bryan Danielson just opened it up with shot after shot to the chin. And now, what's this scooping him up for a body slam, a second one?
He's going to go for the third one. Connects it.
Oh, those are the hardest hitting body slams I've ever seen.
The fourth one, this time, Aries counterbalances, hits the forearm. Now Aries is going to hook the head. Now Danielson's
Right forearm!
spinning into the forearm. Danielson cannot follow up. What an incredible battle.
That might have landed right on the chin. Aries might be out. Cover! Aries grabs the ropes and saves the match for himself. Danielson can't believe it.
You can call last event's match of the year. I think this one gets my vote.
Unbelievable what we're seeing. I agree with you, Mark. Once again, Danielson now going for the high impact move. Lands Austin Aries on the top rope. Let's see what he follows up with. Normally he goes for a back suplex in this position. It looks like that might be his plan right here. Yes, he scores with it. Turns him over. Cover. And Aries somehow kicks out. This is one of the toughest individuals I've ever seen. And Danielson goes back to the body slam.
The master of the basics, Bryan Danielson. This crowd has come unglued. Small package.
So
Danielson can do a myriad of things.
I haven't seen the bear hug used effectively in years. And Danielson's doing it, driving his shoulder into the upper chest of Aries and pulling in with his hands, torquing the back of Austin Aries.
Remember those dozen body slams we saw earlier. This is what this leads to. You can effectively use the bear hug from here.
And Aries struggling, doing anything he can to get out.
Well, look at Aries try to turn sideways.
And he's trying to put his hands in there, trying to bridge it. No, Danielson knocks him out with that headbutt.
But he's got his body turned where it's taking some of the pressure off the ribs.
Oh, this is what he beat Jack Evans with. And let's see if Aries can make it to the ropes. That's his only chance, maybe. And Danielson turns it over. Aries is close to the ropes. Can he make it? Can he do it? Can the Generation Next member make it? Oh, Danielson pulls him into the middle of the ring. And Aries taps. This is the match everyone paid to see. Bryan Danielson against Austin Aries. 2 out of 3 falls. Each fall has a 60-minute time limit. Aries, a member of Generation Next, refusing the handshake. You saw him pointing at his chin. It was survival of the fittest. It came down to Aries versus Danielson. They had a classic, and Aries had his chin split wide open from a Danielson European uppercut. That is why Austin Aries was pointing at his chin. He has not forgotten that. Danielson coming out victorious at survival of the fittest. Aries looking to even the score. As now we have a knuckle lock, both men very cautious. 2 out of 3 falls. The last time we saw Bryan Danielson in a 2 out of 3 fall match, it was against Paul London in a bout that many consider the greatest match in ROH history, the Epic Encounter. You have to be real cautious when you're in a ring with a man like Bryan Danielson or a man like Austin Aries. CM Punk, he'll be back in a few minutes, still distraught over that tag title loss. Danielson backing Aries into the ropes. Let's see if we get a clean break. Danielson grabbing the leg. And folks, I'm going to get it out of the way right now. I'm not going to go over the code of honor. I'm not going to go over what the contenders ring is, which of course is, I do have to mention how we determine our challengers for the titles. You can check ROHWrestling.com for that, as Danielson works on the knee and Aries tries to chop his way out. But I do have to pay the bills, and I do have to mention that Ring of Honor has now branched out and formed its own merchandise company. Austin Aries grabbing the ropes here. You can check it out at ROHWrestling.com or by calling 215-781-2500. Again, that's ROHWrestling.com, 215-781-2500. The Straight Shooting Series, shoot-style interviews, high production values, the best questions asked, the right follow-up questions asked. Mick Foley and Too Cold Scorpio, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, Kamala, among some of the men to have already conducted interviews for ROH's Straight Shooting Series. Also, Ring of Honor merchandise carries T-shirts, books, rare wrestling figures from Japan and WWE, in addition to DVDs from several companies, including MLW, 3PW, CZW, UFC, IWC, FIP, you name it, ROH Wrestling, the store is going to have it. ROHWrestling.com, 215-781-2500, as we have the action picking up with shoulder blocks in the ring. Big back suplex by Bryan Danielson. I also have to mention some of our upcoming events. Boston, 8/28, the big three-way to determine the icon of ROH has just been signed. ROH World Champion Samoa Joe versus CM Punk versus Homicide. The world title will not be on the line. Instead, it'll be all about bragging rights. Also signed Scramble Cage Melee. The first and last time this match might ever happen. It is so dangerous. You have to jump off the top of the Scramble Cage onto somebody in order to eliminate them. 9/11, ROH returns to the Rexplex in Elizabeth, New Jersey with Ultimate Endurance, 6-Man Mayhem. Mick Foley, why is Foley coming? We've heard Alex Shelley mention him on the mic tonight. We heard Allison Danger mention him on the mic tonight. We have no idea why Foley will be in ROH, but he is coming, and it'll be real interesting to see what that situation is. And October 2nd, back here in Philadelphia, but at the National Guard Armory, it's going to be a reunion of the Midnight Express. Jim Cornette, Bobby Eaton, Stan Lane, and Dennis Condrey all in the same building for the first time in 15 years. And, of course, more events coming in the future to Boston, back to Elizabeth, New Jersey, Chicago on October 16th, Dayton, Ohio on October 15th. Check it out at ROHWrestling.com or by calling 215-781-2500. That's it for the plugs. Now it's time to pay full attention to this match. Bryan Danielson against Austin Aries, and look who's making his way back, none other than CM Punk.
Yeah, and I gotta hold this microphone with my right arm. Unfortunately, my left arm's still feeling a little bit numb. I got some ice on it. I think I'm more distraught over losing the tag belts than I am injured, but
that definitely has to be a disheartening loss, Punk, and I know that you want to talk about it a lot.
I really don't, Power. I come out here to watch this match just like a fan. I come here to call, lend my expertise where I can. I lost the tag belts along with my partner Colt Cabana, and honestly, the tag competition here in Ring of Honor is fierce. It's ferocious at best. I'm pretty positive we're going to wind up getting them back. It's just a matter of climbing the ladder again. But I'm not going to let it get me down, and I'm certainly not going to let it get in the way of me calling this match. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, and I personally know Dragon has too. I'm going to get away my complaining about Generation Next right off the bat. They're going to get what's coming to them from myself, Ace Steel, and Colt Cabana. We're going to show them exactly why we were tag team champions for so long, and exactly why I am at the top of Ring of Honor, because we belong there. Nobody can take our spot.
Austin Aries, hold on, he's got his shoulders on the mat. 2 count from Ref Hansen. Austin Aries was one of the men as part of Generation Next that laid you out in Chicago. But as you said, we'll talk about that another time, as we do have this match in the ring right now, and we will have lots more about Generation Next and Second City Saints in the future.
Now this match, 2 out of 3 falls. The logic behind this being early cattle mutilation by Dragon, and it's immediately countered by Austin Aries.
Notice how quick Aries was to get to the ropes. That cattle mutilation is not a hold you want to be in for a long time. It's put a lot of guys down.
As I was saying earlier, logic behind the 2 out of 3 falls match. They met last month in the Survival of the Fittest match. There was 6 people involved in the match. The final 2 came down to Austin and Dragon. They both wrestled for, what was it, Power? Outwards of...
it's about 25 minutes or so.
That was just the singles part of the match, so the entire match went
about over 40 minutes.
Around 45 minutes. So ROH officials wanted to see exactly who the better man was without the other 4 individuals involved, without any other pinfalls. And to do that, the best way to do it is 2 out of 3 falls.
Especially with Bryan Danielson. This is the man that really made 2 out of 3 falls mean something here in ROH with that Paul London match and Epic Encounter. Bryan Danielson, one of the founding fathers here in ROH. His history in Ring of Honor is absolutely incredible. I mean, so many match of the year, starting on the very first Ring of Honor show with that 3-way against Loki and Christopher Daniels, then the second show against Christopher Daniels and Loki in singles matches. Perfect knee right to the chin, the upper bridge of the chin on Austin Aries.
You got to wonder if Dragon's going to try to bust that open again.
Austin Aries has only been on the ROH main roster since Reborn Stage 2. That was his debut on April the 24th. He was on the Do or Die afternoon show on March 13th. But Aries has made a big impact in a short time. And this is really his chance to really break through into superstardom into main event status.
Well, he's in the main event now. I'd say he's already done that.
Something very interesting to note, too, is that no other Generation Next members are at ringside. That's a trend that I've been noticing in Generation Next lately, as Danielson now working on the arm, beautifully done, is that when Generation Next is in a title match or a main event type match, they usually go it alone, especially in a singles environment. There's not the usual suspects at ringside that we have seen in a lot of the Generation Next matches. And I'm definitely curious as to why that is.
Well, you'd think it'd be the other way around. You'd think they would, maybe their easier matches, say against the earlier match tonight, Strong versus Dixie, or Izzy rather. You would think maybe Alex Shelley would need to be at ringside for that, or
It's very curious why Generation X goes it alone in these big matches, and maybe we can get Gary Michael Capet on and get some answers, as you see a nice monkey flip by Austin Aries.
he's ready to escape the knuckle lock. I think we're in for a long one here tonight, Bauer. 2 out of 3 falls matches traditionally in pro wrestling are longer matches. They're more grueling, and you're going into it realizing that there's going to be 2 falls. You could take 2 straight, but it's more of a defensive wrestling match. As you see a nice arm capture right there. Into a neck vice.
Very nicely done by Austin Aries as he's hanging in there with Bryan Danielson. You did mention the different strategy in a 2 out of 3 falls match. You recently had one with you and Cabana against the Briscoes that was a classic, and that one went 40-plus minutes.
There's more of a feeling out process. It's like I said, it's a defensive wrestling match. You do not want to be the first one to make a mistake, especially in a tag team match. But if you make a mistake in a 2 out of 3 falls match, and it's such a mistake that can be capitalized immediately, and you're immediately down 1 fall, then you are at such a severe disadvantage, and chances are it's hard for you to come back from such a deficit. So you're going to see a lot of holds. You're going to see both men try to force each other into precarious positions, maybe try to force a mistake out of each other, and then they're going to see capitalizing. You're not going to see a whole lot of fast-paced, high-impact stuff until somebody makes a mistake.
Bryan Danielson very aggressive there on the legs and the face of Austin Aries. Now he's got him hooked. Nice suplex to the bridge. 2 count.
He was going for that earlier, but he couldn't get it.
Now Bryan Danielson against Paul London, that bout went over 40 minutes. So Danielson is used to these longer matches in the 2 out of 3 falls environment. And it's real interesting to note that there was a conference call last weekend with Danielson, Aries, and ROH officials to discuss the rules of this match, and both Aries and Danielson requested that the 60-minute time limit not contain the whole match, all 3 falls, but there be a 60-minute time limit for each fall. So I think that both men were preparing for a long match here.
Oh, and that's right. That exactly proves they know how grueling a 2 out of 3 falls match, and that they have to wrestle defensively. Both of them, I'm assuming, are sharing the same strategy here.
Well, it should be noted that the survival of the fittest match, they had both wrestled earlier in the evening. In addition to that, they did have to battle 4 other people in the 6-way before it came down to those 2. And Bryan Danielson did score the victory after a series of body slams and a bear hug, which is about the first time I've seen body slams and a bear hug used that effectively, and I guess, well, since the first time since the 70s, really. That's how good Bryan Danielson is. He takes those fundamentals and he makes them work in the modern era.
Both men jockeying for position. Austin Aries escapes only to have Danielson use the momentum that Aries used to escape to put him back in the same hold.
You see the faces of these fans glued on the ring. They are watching this like it's a classic chess match, because that's what's pretty much is going on at this point. Both men waiting for the other to make a mistake. Very, very careful with their moves, probably playing in 4 or 5 moves in advance. Leapfrog, the action picking up now.
Nice reverse monkey flip. Almost a receipt for the monkey flip Danielson received on the hands of Aries earlier. Savant applied by Danielson now.
Danielson's so effective in everything that he does. He can take the most basic moves and turn them up a notch and really use them more effectively than anybody else in the wrestling business right now. As there you see Aries grinding the forearm into the face of Danielson, trying to get him to relinquish the hold. Danielson takes him down well, holding on to the neck of Austin Aries, wrenching it.
It's going to be interesting to see who scores the first pinfall in this match.
How many moves ahead do you think these guys are in their minds? Do you think they're playing 5 moves ahead, 10 moves ahead, 15 moves ahead?
5, 6, 7 moves deep, I'd have to think. Danielson appears to now be working on the neck. Earlier, it seemed like he was trying to work on the chin, maybe reopen the wound. He went for the arm. I think Danielson, what he's doing is trying to maybe feel out Aries' body, see exactly Aries' reaction. There's a body slam, he talked about those earlier. He wants to see Aries' reaction to certain holds, maybe certain joints, and he's looking for an opening.
And Danielson might have been going for that flying headbutt early, but he gets cut off. Danielson going for a high-risk move early and paying the price right now as Aries taking an advantage.
You don't want to be on the top rope.
Especially in this building with the low ceiling.
Especially this early. This could be a mistake. This could be one of the things that Aries is looking for.
As Aries is trying to capitalize now with those forearms. And he hits the first major score of the match with that Hurricanrana off the top rope.
Let's see if you can follow up. Looked like Danielson took most of the impact of that move on his lower back. So I would assume Aries couldn't exactly see how he landed because he was upside down, but you never know.
Aries now whipping Danielson into the corner, following up, drop kick right to the face. Another score from Austin Aries. Cover.
That's a kick to the back. It took a couple of those tonight. What that not only does that affect the back, I mean, if you notice my arm's in pretty bad shape right now. They repeatedly kick me in the back. What that does, you're getting kicked in the spine. Obviously, that's where your central nervous system is. It makes your arms go numb. It makes your feet go numb. You can't really feel your hands. And that's what I believe that's what the pit bulls are trying to do to me, and that's what could be happening right now. You could be going after an arm.
You notice Aries going for more strikes, more high-impact moves, whereas Danielson was more grounded. Perhaps Aries sensing that maybe he wants to try to get that first ball out of the way in a hurry. Maybe he figures he can catch Danielson off guard with some of those high-impact moves.
That would be the biggest difference in their styles. You see, Danielson's not about to lay down. He's still fighting right now. But Aries is definitely more explosive, and Dragon is definitely more methodical.
The American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, he has risen to star status for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Austin Aries looking to cement his star. Wow, what a European uppercut from Danielson. And now Danielson unloading the heavy artillery.
Still no clear advantage yet. Now, torquing on the neck using the top rope.
But Danielson is very aggressive. He will use some questionable tactics if the situation arises. Aries cut him off with a kick, though. Oh, nails him with that clothesline. Cover. It's going to take more than that to put Bryan Danielson down.
This is still a filling out process, like I said. This is going to be going on for quite some time.
Aries is delivering some big blows, though, in the early going. That's something that can catch up to Danielson later on in this match. No, Danielson trying to hook that cattle mutilation again. Trying to turn Aries over. Trying to force him down on the mat. Driving that chest into the back. Trying to force Aries down. Aries fights out of it. Goes to the leg. Nicely done by Austin Aries.
Nice inside leg pick.
And now Aries wrenching back, and he's got that fish hook. Oh, the fish hook is illegal. Hansen should be calling as Aries has that finger in the mouth of Danielson tearing at it. And Danielson's in a world of pain right now, and he rolls over into a cover. 2 count.
Fans are with us all the way, showing their appreciation. I got to show my appreciation. Thus far, very evenly wrestled match.
What an atmosphere we have here. These fans want these guys to produce something special, and they are showing their support. As Aries trying maybe for another Hurricanrana in the early going, Danielson catches him. Danielson's not going to get caught twice.
High impact gutbuster off the top rope.
And that'll change momentum in a hurry. Austin Aries now clutching the ropes in pain. Major score for Bryan Danielson.
Let's see if he focuses on the stomach now.
Did you see the look in Danielson's eye when he got up? He knows that he has Aries hurt. He knows that he can capitalize here.
Stop to the ahead.
Aries was clutching onto those ropes for life. Danielson now just... Look at that killer look in the eyes of Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, focusing on the stomach. Smart thing to do.
He drop kicks Aries to the floor. CM Punk, this kind of reminds me of the match you had against Bryan Danielson at Reborn Stage 1 when he made you tap out to an abdominal stretch. Again, Bryan Danielson using a basic move there, but the way that Danielson executes those kind of types of moves just makes it so incredibly painful. I know for someone like you to tap to it, it had to be excruciating.
It's a grounded abdominal stretch, and yes, the difference being that I was not on my feet. I couldn't use my legs to drive and walk towards the ropes. Let's see, it could be part of his strategy right here. He could have won this match thinking that.
He drapes Aries over the top rope again. Nothing but a steel cable there on the midsection of the ribs of Aries. And a drop kick sends, a running drop kick, sends Aries to the floor. But my whole point being with that, we're talking about your match against Bryan Danielson, is that Danielson can be very effective in working on the rib cage and abdomen there.
As a mat technician, he can be very effective working on any single body part. Throwing back.
And he is treating those fans in the front row to the best European uppercuts going today.
He's almost appeasing the fans. I think they're asking for requests. Can't win the match on the floor, though.
And Danielson knows that as he tosses Aries back in. Danielson right now firmly in control. And it looks like he's going, maybe trying to turn him over for a pinning combination. Yes!
Half Nelson with a cradle. Only a 2 count. Yep, Danielson definitely has the upper hand. This is the first upper hand either men have really gained in the match.
Aries fighting out of that chin lock. Danielson, though, putting his leg around the leg of Austin Aries, neutralizing his base. And look, he's trying to turn it into an abdominal stretch. And we have a struggle going on in there.
Aries is trying to bend his arm and fight off Dragon, throwing his body under it, but it does no good.
Now, if Danielson can sit down like he did against you, CM Punk, we could have a tap out early.
Well, if he sits down, what he does is he brings Aries a little bit closer to the ropes. And that's the opposite of what he wants to do, obviously. Here's a Danielson's going to stand to his feet.
Wait a second.
Well, you did say earlier he will use questionable tactics.
Danielson grabbing the ropes for extra leverage. The crowd booing him.
I do think that's slightly unorthodox. Perhaps Danielson realizes that this young lion in Ring of Honor is looking to take his spot, and he's going to do everything to hold on to it.
Danielson once again going to the ropes. It's almost like he's toying with the crowd as well. And Aries has to get out of this hold. He is trying with those elbows to the knee. And now he just brought the leg over and able to get out of it. Oh, and he got caught with that clothesline as a result. Meanwhile, what we have here is Danielson, with a stomp. But the point I was going to make is Danielson is causing a lingering injury to Austin Aries that is going to follow Aries through possibly both falls, and if it goes to 3 falls, all 3 falls of this bout.
If he works on that stomach enough, it's going to tighten up and it's going to eventually start cramping up on Austin Aries. You can't wrestle with a cramp.
Now Danielson, if you notice, he is driving that knee and the leg into the back of the rib cage of Austin Aries and the lower back area. Aries, though, he's trying to get fired up. He's trying to get some adrenaline going. He needs to mount some offense soon.
He's coming. Forearm after forearm. Danielson drives him back into the corner. Follows up with some shoulder blocks. More European uppercuts.
Well, look at Aries. He's fighting back. Danielson once again goes to the midsection.
Smart wrestling. There's a lot of people out there that think Bryan Danielson's the best wrestler in the world right now.
I got to agree with them. Austin Aries, though, he's hanging in there. And once again, Danielson with a knee to the midsection. Aries trying to get his wind, gasping for air. We got a cover. Hansen with a 2 count. And it looks like Danielson's trying to pull back on that arm again, stretch the midsection one more time. And look at Aries clutching his hands together. But Danielson going to the face. Aries now trying to get Danielson off of his face.
Which exposes the arm for the original hold that he wanted, which is the seated abdominal stretch. Now,
Beautifully done.
He doesn't have his leg wrapped around Aries' left leg. So all the pressure isn't there, but Daniels obviously supplements that by throwing his elbow into the side of Austin Aries.
Right now, the midsection of Austin Aries has to be screaming in pain. Oh, look at that. Danielson, though, leaving his head open for those knee strikes. But then he cinches in the hold on Aries.
The way Aries is positioned right now, the more he scoots his legs towards the ropes, it takes pressure off his midsection. The more his hips are in and under Daniels' center of gravity, the more the hold is effective. That's why this hold works a lot better when you can trap the man's leg. You can't move his legs away from you. Ref Hansen's right in there to make sure Austin Aries isn't submitting. You gotta believe Danielson would love a submit right here. You'd love to submit Austin Aries.
Danielson really hasn't taken a lot of punishment in this ball at all, except for an early flurry from Aries. So Danielson would be in great shape going into a second fall at this point. And there are those knees, and finally Danielson relinquishes.
We got a crucifix!
Oh, that was almost it. Danielson thought it was 3.
I'm just stalking Austin Aries, picking the man up the mat, off the mat.
And you know the whole time he's stalking him, he's thinking about what his next moves are going to be. And there he goes to the back of the rib cage and the lower back of Austin Aries. Another 2 count. You notice Bryan Danielson trying to win this match at every opportunity, always going for a cover or a submission.
Your abdominal muscles and your lower back muscles are opposing muscle groups. If your abdominal muscles are too tired, your lower back has to take over and work a lot harder. It could be part of Bryan Danielson's strategy. He's taken away the ab muscles of Austin Aries and then immediately go work on the lower back. Like I said, he's working almost on everything on Austin Aries to try to find exactly what the best opening is.
And he's got a Mac and a backbreaker. They're up in a backbreaker.
Canadian style. The man's legs draped over Dragon's shoulders.
That's a lot of pressure on the lower back and the abdomen muscles. Aries desperate to get out of it. And he does in a big way.
That's going to get him some time. What he's got to do is breathe. Honestly, what he can do right now is possibly stretch his ab muscles out a little bit. Like I said, he wants to avoid a cramp.
American Dragon sent hard to the floor. The wrestling machine Austin Aries has an opportunity right here.
Let's see if he can score.
And he slides in with that baseball slide. It catches Danielson. And soars with a twisting plancha.
Definitely a high-risk maneuver. Something like that, obviously, you saw the way he landed on Danielson. His stomach is what landed on Danielson first. Something that's going to take a lot out of Austin Aries. Obviously, he's got Danielson down right now. He needs to capitalize, and he needs to do it soon. Something like that obviously takes a lot out of you. That's why it's called a high-risk maneuver. This time it actually paid off for Aries.
You think maybe it was a desperation move from Austin Aries?
It could have been. It could have been. It's not something I would have done at that point in time.
Aries knew he had to score big, and he did.
Dragon holding his head.
Well, that is a hard floor there. We saw what it did to Trent Aston's ankle. Aries now looking worn down, and Danielson, you notice where he delivered that boot right to the midsection. But Aries fighting back with a kick.
Aries is worse for wear, but he's obviously still alive. He's not down and he's not out. Still, no fall. Neither men been pinned yet. We've still got 2 falls to go.
Punk, right now, though, I do have to acknowledge the fact that you are being extremely professional right now, and I am very impressed with the fact that you are putting your feelings for Aries aside.
You got a pinfall attempt. Only a 2.
You are putting your feelings for Aries aside, though, and calling this match as it deserves to be called, as a sport.
Well, when it all boils down, Ring of Honor. And we got a Royal Octopus hold on the mat. Ring of Honor is about the competition. Some guys have attitudes, some guys have agendas, but everybody has talent. And these are 2 of the most talented wrestlers in the world right now, and they're squaring off. And I get a front row seat. I get the scout. You never know when I'm going to be in the ring with you, gentlemen. So, and bottom line is I love wrestling. Danielson biting the right thigh of Austin Aries. That was one of the only ways Danielson could have gotten out of that hold.
Danielson proving he will use any tactic necessary.
It's 2 out of 3 falls. I've already explained how grueling and how long these matches can be. If he would have stayed in that hold for very much longer, really the only way to get out would be to tap.
That has to be really frustrating for Austin Aries. You finally get an advantage in a hold, and you get bit on the thigh as a result.
You ever been bit on the thigh?
Nope.
Unless you're into that, it's not a comfortable thing.
And now Danielson's struggling out. And Austin Aries fighting back with a back rake and clubbing Danielson in the back of the neck. Aries, much like Danielson, going for a pinfall at every opportunity. Going for a submission at every opportunity.
Flat on his back. Aries constantly adjusting his knee pads. That could give away maybe something that we don't know about Aries. Maybe he's trying to protect his knees. Right now, I think he's got to worry about protecting that stomach.
He's got to worry about those European uppercuts.
It has been a while since Danielson has applied a hold or maneuver to the abdominal region of Austin Aries, and Austin goes right downstairs with a knee.
Austin Aries perhaps buying some time, letting his midsection heal up a little bit. It's of course not going to be 100%, but that might neutralize some of the damage that Danielson did earlier in the match.
Interesting way to choke your opponent. It's almost like a side choke, which you see a lot in mixed martial arts. But obviously the man in the turnbuckle.
And look at this. A Danielson trademark if he's able to hook it. It could be the airplane spin. No. Oh, instead he goes right back to the midsection. Drapes those ribs right across his knee.
And Austin Aries, his game plan just took about a good 3 steps backwards. He had the upper hand for maybe about a couple minutes, but right back to that gut buster. Let's see if he drapes him across the ropes again. No!
He hits a slingshot suplex. Tully Blanchard would have been proud of that one. And he gets a couple of 2 counts out of it. Trying to force that shoulder down one more time.
What repeated pin attempts do, obviously, is force your opponent to kick out more. That's why you want to hook the leg, put all your body weight on the opponent's chest. They can't breathe. It takes more energy for him to have to kick out, force you off his body to get his shoulders off the mat. So that's all Danielson's trying to do right here is just wear down Aries.
Aries trying to fight back with those kicks to the back.
His abdominal region's already affected, which hurts his breathing. So to try to take away his air more, try to tire him out more is good, sound strategy. Danielson now looks to be applying some sort of an arm bar on the left arm of Austin Aries. As long as Aries' shoulders are up. Almost a version of Tenzan's Anaconda Vice, which he's got the head trapped. It's almost another side choke, but he has the top wrist lock applied as well. Austin's legs are still free.
Aries keeps kneeing him, kicking him, but Danielson, it's just not having any effect on him. Danielson manages to maintain the hold. Hansen right on top of it to see if Aries wants to give up.
Aries looked like he was about to attempt a bridge to maybe escape, but that pinned himself, pinned his shoulders to the mat. The more he kicks out, the tired he gets.
Aries finally able to turn over and get out of the hold, but Danielson going right back to that knee and driving into the back, in addition to going to the head. Trying to get the arm now isolated. Expose the rib cage.
Now look what he's doing right here now. He's putting all that weight on that right shin and the knee.
That is just driving down into the back of the rib cage, the lower back of Austin Aries. And that knee definitely driving down into the spine of Austin Aries. And look at Danielson, the way he was just holding Aries down. He's doing it once again.
Putting more pressure on the affected area.
And he is exposing that affected area as well. And there's the big high knee.
Using the ropes for more momentum.
And now once again he's got the shin and the knee driving into the lower back of Aries while he's pulling back on the head of Aries.
What Aries has to do right now is try to extend his legs enough to get to the ropes. Because like I said before, the abdominal area has been so affected by Daniel's repeated hammering that he's now working on his lower back. It's gonna hinder his breathing to such an extent that he could pass out. The fall, of course, would then be awarded to Bryan Danielson, and if he's unconscious, then he's in a completely different world of hurt. Nice knee to the lower back of Austin Aries. Followed up. Let's see if we can score with the suplex.
He's trying to slingshot again. No, Aries though falls on top of him. Almost gets a quick 3 right there. That was almost it. Austin Aries, beautiful job reversing that move that Danielson hit earlier for a 2 count.
It looked like he was looking for a small package, perhaps. Danielson tried to squirm out of it, but Aries did reverse that as well. Landed on top of his man for the lateral press.
And now Danielson scooping him up. There's that airplane spin. And it kept going.
Now he stops and reverses the other way. Sound thinking by Dragon. Why let the man down? He already got him in the air.
And both men have to be dizzy after that.
Now this is Dragon by numbers right now. Airplane spin followed by a Finley roll. He's going to ascend the top rope and he's going to go for that diving headbutt.
Let's see if he can get his bearings. He has a dizzy look in his eye. And now a little perturbed by the ceiling. That ceiling distracted Danielson for a minute, allowing Aries to move. I shouldn't say a minute, it was just a moment. But that moment was all that Aries needed.
Ref Hansen checking on both men now, applying the count. They have 10. They can answer, just like in boxing, they have a 10 count to answer to. First man to their feet will break the count.
That airplane spin has to take something out of Danielson as well as Aries.
Oh, of course, of course.
Both men struggling to their feet right now. They're beginning to unload the heavy artillery. Aries perhaps going for that brain buster. That's one of his favorites. Oh, a knee strike stops in midair.
And Dragon goes right back to that midsection.
Golden Gate swing.
2 count. Dragon almost outsmarted there by Austin Aries. He kept going for the knees. Austin trapped his leg and hit that Golden Gate swing. Very nice.
Both men really showing the wear and tear of this one. Punk, I mentioned before that you're a head trainer of the ROH Wrestling School, and this is definitely a match that your students should watch. This is a wrestling clinic.
In my opinion, either men should be trying to work this count. The longer you stay down, the more chance you have to breathe. Unless, of course, your opponent gets up, then you have to get up and counter whatever he's attempting to do. But I'd be working the count. I'd stay down till 9. There's no shame in trying to rest.
Aries unloading one forearm after the other as you see the dazed look on the face of Austin Aries. He's trying to hang in this one. And he's exploding right here. Of course, Aries is a master of that explosive offense. Springs up, going to the top. Moonsault block. No, Danielson. Oh, it's a pinning combination for Aries.
So close. A fraction of a second away from the first call being awarded to Aries. Talk about explosive.
Aries once again going for a quick pinning combination, but not quite enough. Aries proving he's so good at using his weight and momentum to get a quick pinning combination. That's something Danielson's definitely going to have to be careful of. And I believe that we were over a half an hour into this match, perhaps well over a half an hour.
Fans still solidly into it.
Those eyes just glued on the ring. Wow, look at that. Aries playing to Danielson for a 2 count. These guys always going for the cover. They know it only takes 3 seconds. Right now, perhaps they're formulating new strategies in their heads as they're delivering these maneuvers. Traditional body slam. Aries now going for a high-risk move.
Aries is starting to look more and more fatigued.
He's got to be careful up there. And Danielson catches him.
Not where you want to be right now.
Danielson is so dangerous on those ropes.
Neither men have yet to make a big mistake.
I don't think they can do this. Danielson is psychotic.
Psychotic might be effective for Danielson.
And
Scrolls
now,
this time with the headbutt.
turns him over. I believe Austin Aries was very fortunate with his ring positioning there. Danielson trying again, but no.
Ref Hansen doing a great job of showing everybody on that side of the ring exactly how the pinfall was broken up.
The rope saved Austin Aries there, no doubt about that. Danielson going for another high-impact move. These guys are beginning to unload the heavy artillery.
Danielson frequently likes to do the back suplex off the top rope. Very precarious position in this venue with the ceiling being so low, but he's already scored with 1 superplex. No! Austin Aries reverses in midair!
Danielson on top.
So close both times.
You know, I say it only takes 3 seconds, but that 3 seconds must feel like an eternity for these two men as they are going for cover after cover. Another one.
Package.
No, again. Shades of Steamboat versus Savage at WrestleMania 3. So many covers. No one getting that 3 count, though. A backslide attempt from Aries. He drops down. Yes, he's got it. Once again. Going for that crucifix bomb. He's got it. And now he's going for that Rings of Saturn, pressure on the neck and arms and shoulders. And that crucifix bomb definitely softened up the areas that this hold is effective on. Danielson needs to get the ropes. He needs to get out of this quick. Aries has made people tap to that Rings of Saturn.
Dragon's trying to scoot backwards, maybe try to find the ropes.
Forearms right to the back of the neck. Aries jockeying for position. Has a full Nelson, and hold on! Cattle mutilation. He has Bryan Danielson in his own hold.
Beautiful bridge.
And Danielson has nowhere to go. Hold on. He taps. Bryan Danielson has tapped the cattle mutilation in the first fall. Austin Aries assaulting the neck in the last few minutes before this cattle mutilation. And that might be a strategy by Bryan Danielson. You might want to tap instead of remaining in the hold, save yourself from future injury, and just have to play the comeback game.
Or maybe that crucifix bomb did a lot more damage than we suspect.
Either way, Austin Aries is off 1 fall to none. What an incredible first fall. Todd Sinclair coming in to referee the second fall, giving Hansen a breather. You got to figure if the referees need to be switched off, how grueling is this on the combatants in the ring?
Wait a minute, they're getting water now? That's cheating.
Now there's a 30-second rest period. And now, I believe it's just about over as Aries comes up. And we're starting the second fall. Aries going to work right on that back of the head and the neck area of Bryan Danielson.
Very wise decision by Ring of Honor upper management to switch referees. New fresh referee for the next second fall.
The question remains, how much pain was Bryan Danielson in? Was he just tapping out so that he could conserve his energy for the final two falls? Because obviously he needs to win this one in order to go to a third fall. Or has Austin Aries perfected the counter mutilation?
Only Dragon knows that.
Dragon fights back now. Big chop. European uppercut. Danielson knows he's behind. He knows he's got to play comeback here. And he is getting aggressive.
Another body slam attempt by Dragon. Almost a Dragon sleeper by Aries. Ooh, drops him down to the neck breaker and a pin attempt. 1, 2. He had the leg hooked and everything that time, Bauer.
Aries now sensing he might be able to score a quick second fall right here and win this one 2-0. And it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
That'll take the starch out of you. Shoved right off the top rope, landing on that chair.
And Aries really sailed a long way there. That's a major turning point in this match. And look at Bryan Danielson right out on the floor, not giving Aries any time to recover or regain his composure.
Also not giving himself any time to regain or to rest. He just lost a pinfall. He should perhaps rethink this strategy, I think. But being super aggressive, locking Austin Aries' leg in between two guardrails and then kicking the guardrail. We've seen him go after the lower back, the stomach, and now it appears he's targeting a knee. Shinbreaker on the floor. Austin Aries can't even put pressure on that leg to stand.
You know what, CM Punk? I recognize this. This is similar to what Bryan Danielson did in the epic encounter against Paul London. He dropped the first fall and went right after the knee in a very aggressive fashion in the second fall, and that led to victory in the second fall for Bryan Danielson. He's adopting that same strategy here, history repeating itself.
Well, definitely the easiest thing you do to gain an advantage on your opponent, as Danielson looks like he's setting Aries up for something right here. Throws that leg right into the guardrail. Almost kicks a fan right in the face, too.
You have to ask yourself if these tactics are necessary.
Well, the easiest thing to do to gain an advantage on your opponent is to take out his legs. Take out his legs, he can't stand. Austin Aries likes to use a 450 off the top rope. He might not be able to stand on the top rope now.
Well, Austin Aries right now not only has an injured midsection, he also has an injured leg. Perhaps Danielson changing his strategy, perhaps sensing that working on the midsection of Austin Aries wasn't quite working, and switching to the leg right now.
I gotta question the strategy right there. I mean, I would stay on the midsection. He hit 2 gut busters, repeated drop kicks to the stomach. He draped his midsection across that steel cable top rope many times. Switching up maybe shows to Austin Aries how frustrated he is that he just lost the first fall and he hasn't put him away himself yet.
Don't forget, Danielson also did a lot of work on the lower back of Austin Aries, and he is trying to turn over into the half crab, just like he used against Paul London.
Now, if you notice, Aries grabbing the left leg, not allowing himself to be turned over.
Very nicely done by Austin Aries. It's all the little things in this match that are making the difference. And now Bryan Danielson, he has it cinched in though, and he is increasing the arc, and no, look at Aries able to turn over and once again grab the leg to neutralize the hold.
Very smart wrestling by Aries. You know, it's interesting. I would think that the person who gained the first fall would be wrestling more aggressive right now, but it must have, a switch went off in Danielson, and he's now wrestling the more aggressive match. And Aries is definitely on the defensive right now. He needs to get out of this hold. He's got nowhere to go. He's in the center of the ring. He can't reach the ropes.
And he's got the knee of Bryan Danielson driving the back of his head while he's twisting that knee.
He still manages to turn over.
Bryan Danielson once again trying to turn it back. Let's see if he can. Yes, he has it one more time. He has it cinched in. Austin Aries has to get out of this in a hurry.
Todd Sinclair up close and personal with Aries, making sure he doesn't tap out. Dragon drags him back, compromises the hold. Aries is rolled over again. Goes for a Boston
Look
Crab.
at this! Oh, that was almost it.
Nice leg whip into the mat.
Bryan Danielson definitely has his strategy focused for the second fall. And now once again he is twisting that knee. He is driving his own knee into the joint of Austin Aries' knee while pulling up at the ankle, and that's not the way your ligaments and tendons are supposed to twist.
Your ligaments and tendons aren't supposed to twist at all. Danielson is an expert at twisting them the wrong way, though.
And he is just tying up those legs of Austin Aries. Aries close to the ropes. I don't know if he realizes it or not.
Indian Deathlock. More pressure applied to the knees of Austin Aries with the opposite leg of Danielson.
And this whole time also, Danielson is able to conserve some energy while Aries is expending it.
This hold can hurt so bad you forget your own shoulders are down on the mat.
Aries trying everything he can on. Look at that. Danielson really has those legs in a bad situation.
Aries trying to bridge up on the top of his head to relieve some of the pressure.
And he is pretty much at Bryan Danielson's mercy right now, and that's not a place you want to be. Danielson toying with the crowd. Oh my God! Look at that. Danielson bridging backwards. What an incredible leg submission right there. Aries might pass out for the pain, or he might find himself pinned. He might have to tap here.
He's got to turn this over.
Look how those legs are locked together. Oh, Aries has to get to the ropes. He might want to tap here and save himself for the third fall.
He's being real tenacious, though. Makes it to the ropes.
Well, Aries did prove by battling with that split open chin at Survival of the Fittest that he is one tough individual. I mean, this guy's as tough as nails. He doesn't get credit for how tough he is, and he has proven it one more time right here. But look at Aries almost trying to get to the floor right now to save himself, to buy himself some time. He needs to rest up. He needs to get some blood circulating. He has to end this assault of Bryan Danielson.
Textbook drop kick. Well caught in the ropes.
Danielson using the ropes to his advantage, using his environment to his advantage. And look at that, just tearing at the knee.
He's being merciless. Aries needs to roll to the floor. He needs to try to create some distance between himself and Dragon. Get the hell away from him. Aries to his feet now. Both men fatigued. Aries now working on the midsection of Dragon. But they're desperation shots. He doesn't have everything behind him.
No, Aries is just doing whatever he can to end Bryan Danielson's attack, as he is basically on one leg. And Danielson takes him to the floor.
Puts both his feet under the armpits of Aries as he was trying to strike Danielson in the ropes. Takes him right outside. Honestly, this is where Aries needs to be right now.
Well, as long as Danielson isn't on top of him, this is where he needs to be. Right now, though, Danielson, I'm surprised he's not right out on the floor being aggressive as usual. Danielson giving Aries some time to breathe. Oh, crash and burn, dangerous!
Crash and burn. I think on the way down, Dragon hit his head on the corner of that table.
He might have hit his head on the floor, too. I think Danielson landed face first on the floor. Oh, and a hush is falling over the crowd. Oh, Danielson, this might be it. Danielson might not be getting up. He landed hard on that floor, and we already saw what that floor did to the ankle of Trent Acid.
Big mistake by Bryan Danielson. This gives Aries a lot of time to breathe. And like I said earlier, there's no shame in trying to stretch out the afflicted area. He could try to stretch out his leg a little bit, get some blood flowing back into it. What's the referee trying to say? The referee's trying to get him back right now. Trying to tell him he needs to get back into the ring.
Todd Sinclair has an important judgment call to make here.
Dragon might not get up.
Dragon's not moving.
Back it off. There's no count-offs, are there? What kind of fucking rules is that? Is this guy get Slayer the rest of the goddamn night or what? You tried picking him up. He's done weight. Help me.
And Aries is getting a little frustrated, but he has had a lot of time to rest now. And Danielson is dead weight. You heard Aries say it. Danielson is out. Sinclair might have to ring the bell here.
Hey, no.
What's this idiot doing? He's got a bum leg and he's climbing to the top rope.
You gotta be kidding me. Aries paying the price. Aries frustrated, climbing up to the top rope, dropping that elbow.
He could have simply won the match by rolling back in the ring and having the ref apply a count. I mean, if Danielson cannot lay there all night, he has to be counted out.
Well, there are no countouts here in ROH. You can't be DQ'd.
Yeah, but it's a judgment call by the referee, and I would say that
the ref can disqualify you if you're out there for too long. Todd Sinclair making a judgment call here, giving Danielson a chance to perhaps come to, not wanting to end the second fall like this in this epic match that we're witnessing right here. And maybe Todd Sinclair's letting a little bit too much go.
the referee's got to be concerned about the well-being of both wrestlers, obviously, but then he's got the job of just calling the match as well.
Hold on, Danielson, he's beginning to show some movement, some signs of life.
Ref offering him some water.
All right, well, Todd Sinclair did make the judgment call to give Danielson that time on the floor. And the major story also is that Austin Aries had a lot of time to recover. And now Danielson takes the steal. Aries has to get Danielson in the ring and go for a pin. The cobwebs are still in the head of Bryan Danielson. There's no way you're going to shake something like that off. Danielson has to be seeing stars, but Aries might be too banged up to really follow up.
Yeah, but can Dragon even remember exactly what body part he was working on? He worked on his lower back, he worked on his stomach. Which one's hurt more and which one was he recently working on? I mean, he got hit in the head. Either hit his head on the corner of that table or he landed directly on the floor. And either way, like you said, there's cobwebs. He could have a concussion. He might not know where he is right now. He might not remember if there's a fall already earned in this match or what.
Danielson in very bad shape, and meanwhile, every minute that goes by is another minute that Austin Aries gets to rest up, and his injured limb and his injured midsection are going to heal up. His injured back are going to heal up. And Danielson into the ring, and the crowd shows their appreciation for this effort. Oh, and look at Aries, slingshot himself in for a 2 count. Danielson kicks out.
Not able to hook the legs. What do we got here?
Explosive moonsault. And the rope save Bryan Danielson. Another pin attempt. Once again, Danielson kicks out. He's got to be on pure instinct at this point.
Aries, too. I mean, not a wise decision doing that corkscrew into the ring. Hurts his stomach and his knees, then follows up with another moonsault. He's had plenty of time to rest that leg, though. He's still favoring it, but it's obviously not as bad as when Danielson was focusing his attack on it. Danielson needs to clear his head and go right back to that leg.
And Danielson on instinct hits that European uppercut. He goes by to one of his favorite moves, goes back to it. And we are approaching the 1 hour mark in this match. CM Punk, you and Samoa Joe recently wrestled for 1 hour at World Title Classic, what I consider one of the greatest matches in RH history. You know what it's like. What are both these men feeling right now?
You wrestle for over 45 minutes or an hour, I don't really think you realize it. I think you're thinking win, win, win. And definitely both these men are. Right now, Danielson might just be trying to recall exactly what day of the week it is. But both men are feeling very tired, very fatigued. Austin Aries, he might actually be worse for wear than Daniel. Daniel's suffering a possible concussion, but not showing any signs of it right now. Aries follows up with a nice roaring elbow. Danielson right back on the floor. You gotta take into account, Aries has had his legs worked on, his midsection worked on, his lower back worked on. Look at him walk around.
He is in obvious pain right now, and Bryan Danielson might have saved himself with that momentum going to the floor. As Todd Sinclair has proven before, he's going to let these guys go on the floor. He's not going to ring the bell if they're on the floor for too long, and Danielson cannot be pinned on the floor. And Austin Aries is obviously frustrated by the fact that Bryan Danielson went to the floor and he's unable to go for a pinfall.
He needs to throw the man back in there, and just he needs to wear him down a little bit more.
And he keeps delivering those forearms to that head of Bryan Danielson.
Yes, but he cannot win this match outside. Elbow smash that was telegraphed from a mile away by Danielson.
Huge mistake by Austin Aries. And Danielson now, he knows that arm is injured and he is going after it aggressively. Danielson is getting probably his third or fourth win. It's definitely a second win from that terrible tope. And he is getting ultra aggressive, working on the arm of Austin Aries. And Danielson knows you can only win it in the ring, and he tosses Aries right back in there.
Possibly setting up Aries for cattle mutilation now.
Well, that cattle mutilation does do damage on the arm. If Aries does have an injured arm, the cattle mutilation will be very effective on it.
What do you got, huh?
Danielson shaking off those cobwebs. He is aggressive in his assault.
I find it very interesting that such a mat technician like Bryan Danielson has switched his game plan up so frequently in this match.
Perhaps that was his game plan, to go after numerous body parts on Austin Aries.
We got a hammerlock, top wrist lock, I'm sorry, and it's stomped right on the elbow. You can break a wrist.
And I believe that we have just passed the 1 hour mark in this match.
Danielson severely needs to score a pinfall on Aries. Or perhaps a submission. He needs this fall.
Well, it's all over if he doesn't get it.
That would be embarrassing for an athlete the caliber of the American Dragon.
Even though it went over an hour, 2 straight falls is not how you want to lose, but that brain buster could bring Austin Aries victory right here. Austin Aries simply has to roll over, but look at him, he was clutching his knee, then he went to clutch his arm. Austin Aries is in a world of pain. He's going to be feeling this match for a long time.
Austin Aries is a mess, but the head of Danielson has been so affected by that plancha gone awry that this brain buster, a simple brain buster, which is so effective if your head is even in a normal state, could possibly end this match.
Power elbow, but he hurt his own arm in the process, but we got cover. 2 count, and the pin can definitely come at any point. These two guys are so banged up. They have suffered so much abuse. It only takes 3 seconds, but that 3 seconds must seem like an eternity to both these athletes. Pro wrestling is a sport. Bryan Danielson and Austin Aries are proving it right here.
Another brainbuster attempt. Dragon slips behind him, hooks both his arms, chicken wings him, going for cattle mutilation right now. He needs to drive all his weight to the center of Austin Aries. He needs to clip that knee. It's almost like he heard me.
He went to the back of the knee, and Aries is down. Danielson just needs to flip over.
Cattle mutilation.
Danielson has cattle mutilation cinched in, and Austin Aries is right in the middle of the ring. Can Aries escape the hold? He's got nowhere to go.
His back is hurt. His knee is hurt. His arm is fatigued. It's hurt. His midsection is hurt.
Counter mutilation puts them all away. And Danielson now turn it over. He's got him. 3 count. Bryan Danielson gets an elusive 3 count, and we're even on 1 fall apiece. And Austin Aries is screaming in pain.
Bryan Danielson, we're tied up at 1-1. The 30-second break period has commenced.
We are about an hour and 5 minutes into this match.
No, I wrestled Samoa Joe for an hour. I didn't get water breaks. I want water breaks next time.
Well, maybe we'll put you and Samoa Joe in a 2 out of 3 fall match.
I want water breaks and a fruit plate next time.
Bryan Danielson and Austin Aries are proving that pro wrestling is a sport here in Ring of Honor. No sports entertainment in this one. And it's coming down to 1 final fall. Bryan Danielson, a head full of cobwebs. He knows that he was just signaling to the crowd. Austin Aries, an aching arm, aching lower back, aching midsection, aching leg. And he is 1 fall away from scoring the biggest victory of his life. Fans are going to remember this one for a long time. They're going to be talking about this one for even longer. Who's going to be known as the winner in the record book? We are getting ready for the 3rd fall. Right now, Austin Aries, Bryan Danielson, the new rivalry is here.
Aries looks to be on the defensive right now. European uppercut. It'd be great if he busted open his chin again right here, right now.
That's what Bryan Danielson's trying to do. Danielson ultra aggressive. He's going after the back of the neck now. Perhaps softening him up for counter mutilation again. Danielson wasting no time in planting Aries on the top rope. Going for it all. Perhaps a home run type move here.
He loves to hit superplexes. He's hit like almost 2 of them in this match already. Going for the 3rd.
And hold on, Aries. He's got him.
Oh, that's got to be it. Aries needs to make the cover. He needs to hook a leg.
And this crowd glued to the ring, showing their appreciation. They're tired after watching this for over an hour. And Bryan Danielson's head has to be filled once again with cobwebs after that perfect DDT from the top rope. Austin Aries saving himself from that superplex, but unable to make the cover because his entire body is in too much pain.
Both men appear to be in need of another water break right here. So fatigued, this match has gone on for so long. I know exactly how they feel. Your legs become heavy like lead. Every single breath you take in is like fire. Your lungs are so eager to just take deep breaths, but you can't. Your heart is pounding. Body slam by Aries.
Crowd rooting both men on as Aries sacrificing himself going for a 2nd body slam. You see him clutching his back, using every ounce of strength to hoist Danielson up for those body slams. And he does it a 3rd time. And Aries might be pulling Danielson's own tactics on him. This is similar to what Danielson did to Aries at Survival of the Fittest. And Aries trying again. No, Danielson lands on his feet. Aries had too much taken out of him. Aries used all his strength and determination to hit those body slams.
And now Dragon's giving him a taste of his own medicine. 2nd one for Aries. Dragon can't even stay on his feet.
He is just spiking Aries into that match. Scooping him up a 3rd time, yes! We are seeing shades of June 24th, 2004 right here. I'm losing my voice. I can't even believe I'm calling a match like this. Once again, Bryan Danielson with another body slam.
Imagine how the wrestlers feel.
Unbelievable effort from both men. It's a shame that we will have one winner and that there will be a loser.
Package is sit.
Oh, Hanson. Hanson is back in as referee and he counts a 2 count. Danielson goes right to that lower back.
This is any man's match right now. Bear hug by Danielson.
This is like exactly what he used to Survival of the Fittest. He has it cinched in. Aries wasn't able to escape before. Can he do it now?
Aries can barely put all the weight on that one leg.
Not only the leg, but this is squeezing the oxygen out of the ribs, out of the lungs of Austin Aries.
Well, Danielson's plan definitely comes to fruition right here. He's worked on the arm, so Aries can barely strike his way out of this. He can't put his pressure on his legs to relieve himself the pressure off the back, which has been worked on, and the midsection that's been worked on. Aries is going to pass out. He can't breathe.
He can't get out of this. His back is too beat up. His midsection, his abdominal muscles are too beat up. His leg is. His arm is. Bryan Danielson's plan is genius. It has come to fruition, and it's going to give him a victory right here.
Aries wisely getting his arms inside of Dragon's arms now.
Danielson, what a strategy in this one, but look at Austin Aries. He reversed the bear hug. Unbelievable effort from Austin Aries. And Bryan Danielson is now in a world of pain. And
Dragon submitted once already in this match. You gotta wonder if he's gonna submit again.
And he is going to the face of Austin Aries. It looks like no, he's trying to tuck the arms in, trying to reverse it back on Austin Aries. Can he do it? Yes, he squeezes his arms around Austin Aries and takes him off his feet. Aries' ribs and lower back have to be screaming in pain, and he's turned it into that submission that gave the victory on at Survival to Finish. This is that same submission. He is twisting Aries in half. And Aries has pulled himself up by the ears. Headbutt, desperation headbutt. And Danielson has to turn it over to a suplex.
Release over the head, belly to belly, almost by desperation. Dragon clutching his knee. He might have pulled something using the leverage of momentum or whatever. Try to throw Aries over.
But you know what? Those headbutts, they're going to get the cobwebs back in the head of Bryan Danielson. Danielson has to be seeing stars. Danielson going for the home run swing right here. Can he get the back suplex?
See, Aries reversed this once already. If he does it again, it's all over. All he's got to do is shift his weight and cross-body the man. No! Danielson scores with the top rope belly to back suplex.
Cover! Hooks the leg! How did Aries kick out? How did he do it?
Cat mutilation. What's it going to take? This has got to be it.
And he has it cinched in.
He wouldn't tap the first time. Is he going to tap the second time?
Perhaps Danielson will turn it into a pinning combination like he did before. And Aries, he's under the ropes. He's got it. Yes, he's got the ropes. Aries able to get the ropes. Miraculous effort from Austin Aries. Bryan Danielson, a head full of cobwebs. He has to be wondering what's it going to take. Look at that look on his face. A look of frustration, a look of anger. A look of desperation. And he's planting Aries on the top rope one more time. Softening up that lower back with that forearm. Aries struggling, fighting. Every last bit of energy he has, he's using right now. Clubbing Danielson in the head.
Absolutely wearing out the neck of Danielson.
Oh, imagine what Danielson's head has to be feeling like right now. Danielson is down, and he's in position for Aries to hit the 450, but I think the ceiling's too low. Aries isn't going to be able to get it. He goes for it. No!
Oh, that knee. That knee just got jammed right into the mat.
And he just blocked the European uppercut. Trying for a backside. Yes, cover!
Oh, so close.
Somehow Danielson kicking out. Both these men showing inhuman amounts of intestinal fortitude. How are they getting it? Danielson clutching at that leg.
This is Ring of Honor. This is everything Ring of Honor is about. Forearm by Danielson. Forearm by Aries. Both men have to use the ropes to stand.
And Danielson goes for the leg. Smart move by Bryan Danielson. And look at Aries just pummeling the back of the head. Kicking Danielson. And Danielson could be knocked out from any one of these blows if one of them really connects. His head is probably so soft at this point. Aries sometimes struggles out. This crowd is exhausted. I'm exhausted. But the atmosphere here is unbelievable.
Let's go, Aries! Let's go, Dragon!
appreciation for both men. All those faces glued on the ring. Ref Hansen, he might have to make a judgment call about stopping it, but both men are getting to their feet, struggling. Roaring forearm scores!
But he's too fatigued to make the cover. His head has been too rattled.
I can't believe it.
He's going to pull himself off that mat, and he's going to lock cattle mutilation on.
What's it gonna take?
Count applied by Ref Hansen once again. He's up to 3. Aries could be out. Dragon could be out. This could be the end of the match right here. Are we going to go to a sudden overtime?
I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't even know if these guys can continue. They're so dazed. Roaring forearm by Aries connects right on the chin of Danielson.
Hey, he can't capitalize either. He's crawling in the opposite direction.
Anybody with any background in boxing knows that a blow to the chin will knock you out.
Both men are going to need an IV after this. They got to be so fatigued and so weak. Aries appearing to be sensing victory right now.
No matter what the result is, we are seeing something very special here. And it looks like at this point we might be here all night. What's Aries doing? He's going for the home run swing now. Clubbing the neck, the back of the head of Danielson. Great buster from the top. All impact on the complex field out of Brian Danielson.
Come on, Aries, make it. That's all she wrote.
How is Brian Danielson kicking out?
You better believe Austin Aries is asking himself that exact same question right now.
That has to be pure instinct from Brian Danielson. This crowd can't believe it. Aries now trying to pull Danielson up by the ears. And Danielson is dead weight. Danielson is once again dead weight. He might be out on his feet.
Danielson goes up, Danielson goes down.
Another brainbuster, more impact on the head. No, he can't be thinking of doing another one. There's no way. There's no way Danielson can take this. There's absolutely no way.
Danielson's got to reverse. He's got to land on his...
God, another one. And Aries using his last bit of strength to hit those. Coming to the top. Going for the 450, the ceiling's too low. That overhang is right there. No! He nails it! Wow. I don't even know what to say, CM Punk.